exciting week in the nation.
Unwind with Rewind.
Tune into Granite City Electric's Red Sox Rewind as Hazel May recaps the week in Red Sox Nation.
On and off the field.
With player profiles, team news, highlights, and more.
All wrapped up into a half-hour show.
So you don't miss a pitch.
Strike 3 call! So why not rewind?
And catch it again.
Granite City Electric's Red Sox Rewind, Monday and Tuesday nights on Nesson.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Bernie and Phil's Furniture. Quality, comfort, and price, and the best furniture values in New England. And welcome back to Fenway Park. Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox. Game 3 of this 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Orioles. And a rain delay right now that is at, 3 hours and 20 minutes at the moment, as Devern Hansack has wrapped up his warm-up tosses and getting ready for his start here this afternoon for the Red Sox. After this long rain delay, it is still lightly raining here at the ballpark, more of a mist than anything else, as Peter Gammon's about to throw out the first pitch here at Fenway Park after a long wait and, of course, his great return. So many of the fans under the overhang start to make their way back into the seating area, a lot of them on the concourse as well, after waiting here a long time to play baseball here tonight. And the Red Sox and Orioles will indeed play here tonight, as Devern Hansack gets a start for the Red Sox, matched up against Hayden Penn. And you got to credit these fans for hanging in there today in what has been a long day waiting.
Well, I have to correct you, Don. It is not yet night. It is still afternoon at 5:22. So, you know, it will be night, though, before this is over.
We will step aside and come back with the first pitch in this late afternoon game after this.
Savings of the year during the Ford model year clearance. Now get 0% financing for up to 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on select 2006 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus get extended 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain coverage on every 2006 Ford. The Ford model year clearance with 0% for up to 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. Hurry, this offer ends soon. See your local Ford store today.
So every month you sit down to pay the bills. Oh, joy. But what if you could do the whole thing online in less than half the time? If you used Sovereign Bank Bill Pay, you wouldn't have to buy stamps or write checks. To see how fast and simple it is, log on to sovereignbank.com and check out Bill Pay. It's free, so give it a try. You'll never go back to the old way. And it'll give you more time to do things like
watch baseball.
When you're considering a new car, do you think about the real value of that car? Or what determines value? Is it legendary engineering? Is it operating expense? Fuel efficiency? All things considered, only one car rises to the top. The Accord from Honda.
Lease a Honda Accord for $239 a month for well-qualified customers.
Back at Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Orioles getting ready for Game 3 of this series. David Meller out talking to the umpires once again. His crew has been extremely busy, and again, a great job by the grounds crew here at Fenway Park to get this field ready to go. As the rain was coming down, they were working on the warning track areas, and of course the field was covered all day with the rains coming down here at Fenway. And a pretty strange day, I think, for the players today, Jerry. I mean, a lot of these guys headed to different destinations after the ball game, and some of those plans may be postponed right now. Some of those flights were probably a little earlier than when this game will end.
Yeah, I think when you look at today, obviously, as a player, this is not something you had hoped for. A rain delay that lasts this long, and obviously play this final game of the season. But they will do that, or they will attempt to do that if there's no more rain in the area. And you're right, Don. A lot of those plane reservations will probably be changed to tomorrow sometime.
Well, Terry Francona's team coming into today's action with an 85-76 record, as they will finish in third place. The Toronto Blue Jays victorious today as they beat the Yankees 7-5. So the Blue Jays 87-75 with a game-and-a-half lead over the Red Sox. So the Red Sox at best will finish in third place, a half game back of the Toronto Blue Jays. So a bit of a change there after 8 straight second place finishes for the Red Sox in the division. Devern Hansack and the Red Sox take the field. Let's check out the Baltimore Orioles starting lineup, as today is Junior Announcer Day at Fenway, brought to you by Boston Scientific.
Hello, my name is Liam Wells from Boston. Leading off for the Orioles, second baseman Mr. Brian Roberts, center fielder Mr. Corey Patterson, third baseman Mr. Melvin Moore, designated hitter Mr. Miguel Tejada, left fielder Fernando Tatis, first baseman Mr. Chris Gomez, right fielder Mr. David Newland, shortstop Mr. Brandon Fahey, and catcher Mr. Raylu Chavez.
Nice job, Liam, and a happy birthday. Boston Scientific is proud to be a partner of the Hull Life-Saving Museum. The pitcher today for the Red Sox, Devern Hansack.
Second major league start, his first coming against Toronto on that last road trip. 5 innings in that game, 6 hits allowed and 3 earned runs. He made 81 pitches, 58 those for strikes. You see the numbers this year at AA Portland. In 31 games, 18 starts, the 8-7 record with a 3.26 ERA. The Red Sox defense is brought to you by your Boston area Lexus dealers. The Red Sox will have Mike Lowell at third base, Alex Cora the shortstop, Mark Loretta at second, and Carlos Pena the first baseman. Left to right, Eric Hinsky, Gabe Kapler, and Trot Nixon. Jason Veritek doing the catching for Hansack.
The umpiring crew, Rob Drake has played Paul Noward at first base, Larry Vanover at second base, and Greg Gibson is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Well, the Red Sox and Orioles in Game 3 of this series. The Red Sox have gone 14-3 in the season series against the Orioles this season. 7-1 here at Fenway Park, suffering their first loss of the season against the Orioles last night. And they were 7-2 at Camden Yards. Ryan Roberts standing in, hitting at .287, 10 homers and 55 runs batted in. So instead of the 2:05 start here at Fenway Park, 5:28. The first pitch of the ball game for Devern Hansack, and it's in there for strike one to Roberts. Roberts did not play in the game last night, only the 4th game that he has not started since coming back off the DL on May 24th. He was 0 for 5 in the first game of the series on Friday night. To third with Lowell in on the grass. Roberts is out, number 1.
Well, for those who saw Hansack pitch in that game in Toronto, he featured the fastball, the slider, and a changeup. That appeared to be a changeup to Roberts, as he bounces out to Mike Lowell for the first out of the ball game.
So 1 down, Corey Patterson standing in, the center fielder for the Orioles. 278, 16 homers and 53 runs batted in. The pinch ran and remained in the game defensively in center field last night as he came in the 9th inning, one of the scoring runs. 1 for 4 in the first game of the series on Friday night. On the ground, foul down towards the tarp area, and it's 0-2 to Corey Patterson, the former Chicago Cub.
And this is certainly the coolest day or night, whatever it's going to be, that we have had in quite some time here at Fenway Park.
Day, Jerry. It's day right now. Swing and a miss. Patterson strikes out. First strikeout for Devern Hansack. 2 down.
And there's that slider from Hansack. He got away with a couple of them in that last start up in Toronto that he hung, but this is a very good one down and in against Patterson.
So 2 away, and Melvin Mora coming up. We're batting third in the order for the Orioles today. 275, 16 homers, and 83 runs batted in. Morrow 0 for 4 in the ball game here last night. Had 3 hits in the first game on Friday night. Devern Hansack, 28 years old, pitched exclusively at AA Portland this year. We're making the jump from AA to the majors after the championship run for the Portland Sea Dogs. Morrow, the swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Once again, that slider and every one that he's thrown so far early in this game has been very good. That ball down and away from Melvin Mora. That's the first look, obviously, the Orioles have had against Hansack.
Ball 3 and a full count now to Melvin Mora with Miguel Tejada waiting on deck. Fly ball to left. Hinsky is there. An 11 pitch 1-2-3 first for Devern Hansack. Red Sox coming up.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines Internet specials, you can fly to over 60 destinations coast to coast for just $49 to $159. Purchased by October 19th.
You are now free to move about the country.
The step-up sale is on now at all Carefree small building locations, and that means more building for less money. Buy any Carefree small building 8x10 through 16x30 and receive the next size up at no additional charge. That's up to 20% more space free. Act now. Sale ends soon. Call Carefree at 1-800-326-SHED or see us on the web at carefreebuildings.com.
I'm a Red Sox fan.
I'm a Yankees man.
There's one thing we agree on.
Lieberman's got to go.
Yeah, Joe's got to go. He's a turncoat. He'll do anything to get reelected.
Don't you think you look ridiculous?
Ridiculous? I'll tell you what's ridiculous. A guy who says I'm a Democrat, I'll always be a Democrat, blah, 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 then whines when he loses the election.
He'll do anything to stay in Washington.
Ridiculous.
Joe Lieberman calling himself a Democrat after what he's pulled?
We're voting for Ned Lamont.
I'm Ned Lamont, and I approve this message.
And so do we! So, Mr. Chan, you want to make a sequel with my client Diet Pepsi?
Lots of action, lots of stunt.
As always, we're going to need a stunt double.
No problem. We got company.
Stunt double. Action. See ya.
That's gonna hurt.
Bottom of the first inning, Nixon standing in and leading off in what might be his last weekend in a Red Sox uniform. Trot Nixon heading into an offseason in which he is a free agent and, of course, a member of the Red Sox organization since the first-round draft choice that he was back in 1993. It'll be interesting to see what the offseason holds for Trot. Look at the numbers for Nixon: 267, 8 homers, 52 runs batted in. Up the middle and into center field. Sunday's Junior Announcer Day at Fenway, brought to you by Boston Scientific, delivering what's next. Here's the rest of the Red Sox starting nine.
Hello, my name is Ryan Keyes from Hingham, Massachusetts. Leading off the Red Sox, right fielder Mr. Trot Nixon. At second base, Mr. Mark Loretta. Designated hitter, Mr. David Ortiz. Third baseman, Mr. Mike Lowell. Catcher, Mr. Jason Veritek. Left fielder, Mr. Eric Sinsky. First baseman, Mr. Carlos Pena. Center fielder, Mr. Gabe Capular. And shortstop, Mr. Alex Cora.
Nice job, Ryan, as Nixon takes off on the pitch that gets Loretta.
Well, you waited around about 3.5 hours for that to get hit by the first pitch from Hayden Penn. Might have been a hit and run play they had on here because Nixon was off at first base. And of course, right there you can see right in the stomach it looked like for Mark Loretta.
Well, the Orioles have hit the most batters in the American League, 74 of them. And an auspicious beginning here for Hayden Penn, a single and a hit batsman. David Ortiz stands in with 54 home runs, 137 RBIs, a .287 batting average. Pops it up, foul ground. Raul Chavez discards the mask and makes the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the first inning.
The Oriole defense is brought to you by New England Ford dealers, and they'll have Melvin Moore at third base, Brandon Fahey the shortstop, Brian Roberts at second, and Chris Gomez at first. Left to right, Fernando Tatis, Corey Patterson, and David Newhan. Raul Chavez, who just caught that pop-up from David Ortiz, he'll be catching Hayden Penn. Penn making his 5th start since being called up, actually his 6th start since being called up from AAA Ottawa on the season. He is winless on the season, 0-3 at the major league level.
One down for Mike Lowell. As Hayden Penn tries to settle in here a little bit after the leadoff single by Nixon. He hit Loretta, gets Ortiz, and deals with Mike Lowell. He hits a .282, 19 homers and 77 runs batted in. Lowell has hit safely in 9 of the last 11 games and was 0 for 5 in the game last night. Drives one to deep left, could be number 20. It is off the Coke bottles. Mike Lowell gets his 20th home run of the season and puts the Red Sox on top 3-0.
Times now in Mike Lowell's career, he's had 20 or more home runs. He gets the curveball that stays inside, and Lowell hits it right off the light tower or the Coke bottle, one of the two, for the 3-run home run. That also gives him 80 runs batted in on the season.
So one down for Jason Veritek, who drives one to center. Patterson is back there to make the catch, and there's 2 down.
$17 2/3 innings so far at the big league level for Hayden Penn, and that is home run number 8 that he is allowed, and number 8 coming to Mike Lowell.
Well, last year, of course, just 8 home runs for Mike Lowell. This year getting 20 home runs and now up to 80 RBIs on the season. great bounce back season for him per usual. His great defense all year long as well. But the offense certainly had taken a step backwards last year, and a great bounce back season for him. Eric Hinsky playing in left field for the Red Sox today.
Red Sox did face Penn last year just one time. That started coming back on June the 2nd. He was not involved in the decision in that game against Boston.
8 starts last year, was 3-2 for the Orioles in his first experience in the majors. And Penn is just 21 years old. He'll turn 22 in October. He resides in La Jolla, California. A 5th round draft choice by the Orioles back in 2002. Swing and a miss. Strikes out Hinsky to conclude the first, but the Red Sox take a 3-0 lead on a 3-run shot from Mike Lowell.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Oh, I am so glad we finally all got together.
Yeah.
But before we get started with dinner, we have a super business opportunity we'd like to share with you. Cleaning products.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from Manchester or Providence to Chicago Midway for just $99 one way. Purchased by October 19th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Order in the corner.
You say you're the memory foam king, but you're just 8 inches thick at $15.99. My Bobopedic is 10 inches thick at $9.99.
I'm Tempur-Pedic. Size doesn't matter.
Then why, at 10 inches, does your price skyrocket to $23.99?
I'm a Tempur-Pedic.
Mine comes in firm, plush, or half firm, half plush for the same $9.99. Do you?
But
are you really worth $1,400 more?
I'm a Tempur-Pedic. You be the judge.
Fox 61 won the Mark Twain Award for Overall Station Excellence and was awarded Connecticut's Best Newscast by the Associated Press. Then Fox 61 was honored with more Emmy Awards than any other Connecticut TV station, including Best Team Coverage. In July, no 10 or 11 p.m. newscast had more viewers than Fox 61 News at 10. Thanks, Connecticut, for making us your home for award-winning news, the coolest comedy, pulse-pounding drama, and the biggest events in entertainment and sports. When it happens on television, Connecticut knows it happens on Fox 61.
Red Sox Baseball in Nesson is brought to you in part by the Connecticut State Lottery. You could win a monstrous amount of cash.
New team.
I want them to be proud to have the Boston Bruins logo on their chest.
Now attitude. One network.
3-0, the Red Sox on top thanks to a 3-run home run by Mike Lowell as we head to the second inning. And Miguel Tejada sends one foul.
Had that shot of a weather station going absolutely crazy. It's been going nuts all day up there on top of Fenway Park, spinning in all different kind of directions.
With lots of wind. So the wind's been blowing in here a little bit as well. Tejada down 0-2. 331, 24 homers, and 100 runs batted in for Tejada. We're coming into this the last day of the regular season. Tejada 4th in the American League in batting average with 331. Joe Mauer was just a point ahead of Derek Jeter to begin the day at 346. Jeter at 345. There's the pitch inside to Tejada. Tejada, Tatis, and Gomez here in the second inning for the Orioles. Tatis waiting on deck. Tejada with a career high and club record 214 hits this season. Broke the record on Friday night with a couple of hits, surpassing Cal Ripken's 1983 club record of 211 hits. Tejada strikes out, second K for Hansack.
And my suggestion to hitters would be anything close swing, because these umpires have also been sitting around for 3+ hours to start this ball game. That ball really pulled in a long way by Veritek, and the strike call to Hanna.
So one away, Fernando Tatis. The left fielder at 255, 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Tatis had been out of pro baseball the last 2 years since being released in spring training of 2004 by Tampa Bay. But coming back this year, hitting 255 for the Orioles. Devern Hansack getting his second start for the Red Sox. 0-1 with a 5.40 earned run average coming in after finishing the year with the Portland Sea Dogs. Falling behind here 3-1.
Well, this was supposed to be the final start for Curt Schilling, but of course that didn't happen after his last start here at Fenway Park.
Ball 4 and Tatis down to first base. First base runner for the Orioles.
As the weather cools down in Red Sox Nation, stay tuned to NESN, because we're putting on our Sox every Monday night coming this fall and continuing all winter. Monday night is Sox Night on NESN. Get your Sox fix with all new Red Sox hot stove, plus the Red Sox Report, Red Sox Classics, and our new series Walk-Off Sox. The fall or winter, it's Monday night at Sox only on NESN.
One down, Tatis at first, and Chris Gomez the batter.
Gomez riding an 18-game hitting streak coming into this final game of the season.
He's 3 for 4 with a couple of RBIs here last night. Led off the first 2 games of the series. Got a start last night at second base. Brian Roberts getting it off. Cora at shortstop goes to second for 1, on to first. It's a double play. Inning and a half done. It's 3-0 Boston.
People could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance by switching to Geico. It says here, new customers report average annual savings of over $500.
Easy money.
Easy money. You do have to go to geico.com.
Which is like what? Asking you to stand up? Hello there, you know, if you stand up, you could save loads of money. I doubt you're going to be like, no thanks, I'm so rich, I think I'll keep my seat.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hottest new thing in baths? Showers! Call Rebath to convert that old tub into a beautiful new shower. You need to do something about that tile anyway. Showers are cleaner, safer, and rainier. Rebath remodels more bathrooms in America because quality, price, and they're fast.
Call 1-800-BATHTUB. Rebath, America's refreshing remodel.
If this looks like your day, see what a difference Mercury Mountaineer can make. Oops. Mercury Mountaineer brings more style to your everyday life, every day.
Now lease Mercury Mountaineer at this great rate. See your New England Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
You gotta put Mercury on your list.
Dude, last night I had a dream we went to Friendly's.
We were at Friendly's. Weird. What did we order?
You had honey barbecue chicken. He had buffalo chicken.
Your dream sounds delicious.
Satisfy your cravings at Friendly's with our famous food and ice cream creations.
Was she in your dream? No. But he was.
So come on, get in, get friendly.
Well, John Lester back in Seattle now after getting treatments here first in Boston. Wish him well during the offseason as well. Not forgotten, that's for sure. As the Red Sox and Orioles finish up the regular season here, and everybody heads in their different directions after the ball game today. Pena, Kapler, and Cora in the bottom of the second inning. Carlos at 250 with a home run, 2 runs batted in, and the Red Sox uniform to right field and in for a hit. He's been hooking them to right lately, and that one hooked into right field for leadoff single.
As a proud sponsor of the Red Sox, Benjamin Moore Paints have hit a home run by teaming up with Pottery Barn. Stop by a local participating Benjamin Moore retailer for information on receiving a $25 gift card. Benjamin Moore Paints and the Red Sox, a lasting tradition.
Leadoff single for Carlos Pena here in the second inning. It's already the 3rd Red Sox hit. And it brings up Gabe Kapler.
Pena's put a nice finish on the season. 2 for 4 last night. It picks up the base hit to start off the second inning.
Kapler hitting at 252 with 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. To third base and through Melvin Mora. Hot, that kind of Mora, and it gets through him, and the first 2 Red Sox have reached here in the second.
Looks like Mora may pick up error number 17 on the season on this ground ball by Kapler. Looked like it might be a double play. Instead, you'll see Mora back up, kind of get into a weird position, almost sideways as he tries to feel that ground ball. It gets by him, and the Red Sox have a couple of base runners.
Well, they've not yet ruled on it, but it is first and second. Nobody out for Alex Cora. And it is an error charged to Morris. Cora lines it to second. It turns into a double play. Nicely done heads-up play by Brandon Fahey to cover the bag, because it was hit hard and it happened quickly, but there's quickly 2 down.
Yeah, perfect timing there on the jump by Brian Roberts at second base, and then Fahey really had to hustle to get to the bag to get the double play. Good look at it here from high home as you see the line drive play, and then is Fahey just beating Pena back to the bag.
So 2 down. Kapler at first. Trot Nixon single to center field his first time up. Nixon has been struggling lately. 1 for his last 19 coming into the game. Got a base hit in the first inning. Having a dive back head first as Penn checks on him.
Only 1 steal for Kapler on the season. Has been caught 1 time.
Nixon after the 2-0, and it's 2-1. Foul off to the left to even the count now at 2-2. to right field. David Newhand comes on and makes the catch. It ends the second inning. We play 2 from Fenway. It's 3-0 Boston.
Take a chance, make it happen.
Coward.
Pop the cork, finger snapping.
No brainer.
Spin the wheel, round and round.
Did he come in red?
Let's meet and have a ball. Let's live for the wonder of it all. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all.
We don't build trucks. We engineer them. We don't settle for existing technology. We invent new ways of taking it further. We don't look at innovation as a means to an end, but rather as a way to give you every advantage possible. Because at the end of the day, you're the one in the driver's seat. Honda Trucks.
Lease a Honda Ridgeline for $299 a month for well-qualified customers.
Freshly baked artisan bread, real Genoa salami, lean ham, sun-dried tomato vinaigrette. Introducing Wendy's Frescata Italiana. For an Italian original, go to Wendy's and do what tastes right.
Red Sox Baseball in Nesson is brought to you in part by the Connecticut State Lottery. You could win a monstrous amount of cash.
Hyundai is taking on Honda and Toyota with the Hyundai Challenge. We're out to prove that our new Sonata is the best value running. Here are the stats. More standard safety features and interior space than a Honda Accord. America's best warranty. And for thousands less than an Accord. You owe it to yourself to check out the fuel-efficient Hyundai Sonata before you spend too much on a Honda or Toyota. Take the Hyundai Challenge today. Lease a 2007 Sonata for just $189 a month at your local Hyundai dealer. But hurry, offer ends October 2nd.
Well, happy birthday to Jacqueline, spending her 6th birthday here at Fenway Park. She loves Trot Nixon.
Top half of the third inning, David Newhand leading it off for the Orioles. Newhand, Fahey, and Chavez. Newhand at .254, 4 homers, and 18 runs batted in. Chops it right side, Pena. Needs some help as Hansack covers, and they just get Newhand. Let's check in with Tom Caron. TC.
Down for the final time. It's our New England Toyota dealer game break. Kansas City and Detroit extra innings in the 12th. The Royals score a couple, beating the Tigers 10-8. So Minnesota, who beat Chicago earlier, wins the AL Central. Minnesota hosts Oakland. Detroit goes to New York for the playoffs, guys.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. A 3-0 lead here for the Red Sox right now. And the Twins, after a very tough start in a very tough division now, the American League Central able to claim the division title. And, of course, they already knew they were headed to the postseason, but they win the division to boot. As the Detroit Tigers, who are in there for the most part of the season, end up finishing second, but also heading to the postseason.
I didn't think there was any way they would catch the Detroit Tigers and overtake the lead in the Central Division, but they didn't, after playing just great baseball for just a little bit more than half of this season. They get off to a very rocky start, but boy, when they turned it on, they didn't let up at all. So the playoff matchups are set in the American League.
The Tigers are not going into the postseason all that well. They suffered towards the end, and they get swept by the Kansas City Royals at the end of the year. As Loretta throws quickly to first, and there's 2 down. Check out what the playoffs look like as far as the setup. The Tigers against the Yankees now, as the Yankees won the season series 5-2. Chien-Ming Wang going for New York. The Tigers have yet to announce their starter. Athletics will open up against the Twins. Barry Zito in his last season, most likely with the A's. 16-10 against what will be the Cy Young Award winner in the American League, Johan Santana. 19-6 going for the Twins, and the Twins won that season series 6-4. So lines up to be a very good postseason, at least to watch anyway. As Raul Chavez sends one to right field. Nixon over onto the dirt of the track to make the catch. It ends the inning. 2.5 done from the fence. 3-0 Boston.
Okay, people, let's gather around. Gather around if you would, please. Let's bring it in and listen up.
Yeah, let's powwow. This is Team Communication Week. I want you to think about what that means. You do your job, so I can do my job.
There's an exciting sound in travel. Southwest Airlines Ding. Get exclusive low fares sent directly to your desktop. Deals that are only available for a limited time and only by downloading Ding at southwest.com.
You're now free to move about the country.
This is Mark, calculating patient and true Toyota clearance shopper. He waited for Toyota's clearance deals. He knows he can save, and now he's making his move. Toyota's last chance clearance is on. 0% financing on the last of the 06 4Runners, or $2,000 cash back on the last of the 06 Sequoias. Toyota's last chance clearance ends October 2nd. Make your move and you won't miss your chance to save. Toyota, moving forward.
Today, unlike bygone eras, we have lots of options for heating your home, and even more for choosing just one company for all your service and repair needs. Welcome to AirTemp, your complete resource for heating, cooling, and indoor air quality. We offer 24/7 emergency service, a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and much more. Call or visit our website today, and be sure to check out our current web specials. AirTemp, today's forecast, perfect indoor conditions.
Executive Nissan will match your cash or trade during the Executive Sales Match. Get real savings on the 2006 Nissan Altima 2.5S. Sales match price just $14,907, or lease it for just $99 a month. The 2006 Nissan Murano S. Sales match price just $23,077, or lease it for just $213 a month. The Executive Sales Match.
Our best deals on the best cars, guaranteed.
900 Universal Drive, North Haven.
Mark your calendars now. November 9th is the Red Sox Hall of Fame induction dinner featuring George Scott, Jerry Remy, Joe Morgan, and a special welcome back to Dave Roberts in honor of his steal of the century. Call 617-226-6002 and get ready for a night to remember. On to the last half of the third inning. Mark Loretta, David Ortiz, and Mike Lowell. The Red Sox on top 3-0 thanks to a 3-run home run by Mike Lowell back in the first inning. The key matchup is brought to you by Acura. Loretta against the Orioles in the season series, hitting at .357. He got hit in the stomach with a pitch from Hayden Penn back in the first. Waited a long time, but got a souvenir today.
They're going to call somebody to tell them about it too. Imagine that, 161 games, and finally getting that souvenir after waiting around all afternoon.
And on the run, able to take it up off the shoe tops, and a nice grab. We're out number one here in the third. Shift on for Ortiz as he takes ball one from Hayden Penn. Fouled out to the catcher Raul Chavez first time up. The player profile brought to you by Sovereign Bank, official bank of the Red Sox cable network. Wind shifting and blowing back inward at the moment. As you see the shift on here for the Orioles. It's a swirling wind at Fenway as Ortiz takes ball 2-2-1.
This is much more like one of those early April days here at Fenway Park.
Ortiz sends it foul off to the left, a full count. David Ortiz leading the American League with 54 homers, 137 RBIs. Second in the majors in both categories, only to Ryan Howard. Lines it foul back into the seats. Last player to lead the American League in both homers and RBIs in the same season was Alex Rodriguez in 2002. The last member of the Red Sox to do so was Tony Armas back in 1984, so it's been a while. There's ball 4, and Big Papi headed down to first base as we check in with Tina Cervasio.
Thank you, Don. Well, David Ortiz was clearly one of the feel-good stories of the 2006 season, but when manager Terry Francona looks back on this year, he says it's not a good feeling. As the Twins, Tigers, and Yankees move on tomorrow, the Red Sox go home.
It's a lot of things. It's hard to put into a couple sentences because it's been 162 games, which is a lot of ups and downs. It's the first time we're not going to the playoffs, so we know today's the last day. We have never had that since I've been here and before that. So that part's not a lot of fun. I'm going to get a lot of emotions. Try to handle them professionally. That's, I think, the best way you can go about it.
And while a lot of the players will go home tomorrow, Terry Francona will be back in his office, and the changes will begin to this Red Sox ball club. Coaches meetings tomorrow, and then from there they'll start making decisions on who will be on the 2007 roster. Don?
All right, Tina, thanks very much. Yeah, it will be a quick turnaround tomorrow for Terry Francona. Going to start doing, as Tina mentioned, staff meetings tomorrow morning, meeting each of the coaching members tomorrow, and meeting with them to discuss their futures first and foremost, and then moving on to, of course, the roster and everything else. So the players will head off in their different directions, but the internal stuff starts right away.
Yeah, they usually, if they're going to make changes in the coaching staff, and we certainly expect there to be a couple at the end of this season, that they will probably be made tomorrow morning if they don't know already. And then from there, they go on to try to replace those coaches who are going to be leaving, and also start to develop their club for next year. Things will be fairly quiet. There'll be a Red Sox story in the paper just about every day throughout the playoffs and the World Series, and then after that you have the general managers meetings, you got the winter meeting, so it really never goes away.
Up the middle, ranging is Fahey, flips behind him and not in time, as coming off the bag, Brian Roberts. And everybody's safe. An infield hit for Mike Lowell, and it's first and second now with one down.
Again, that's a pretty nice play by Fahey, the shortstop, and it looked like the flip is one that Roberts could have handled. Let's take another look. There's that backhanded flip, and he stretches out. It looks like he was just a little bit late going into the stretch. If he stretches like a first baseman, he probably makes that play. It might have been hard for him to pick it up out of the glove. So a base hit for Lowell, 2 for 2 in the afternoon.
2 on 1 away here in the third inning, and it brings up Jason Varitek, flying out to center field his first time up. Varitek over the last 8 games, 4 for his last 27.
Varitek can't believe that ball was called a strike. He thought it was up and away. But again, as I mentioned, these umpires have also been sitting around a long time this afternoon.
Since coming off the DL, Jason Varitek hitting at .224. And on the DL on August the 1st after the arthroscopic surgery. And the cartilage tear in his left knee.
Now, we've talked about this before, Don, and when you have knee surgery midstream in the season, you're not going to be 100% till next year. I mean, you get back to a point where you can play, but the strength is not there. That will be there come spring training.
Slices it foul and evens it up now at 2-2.
I'd imagine, too, after having that knee surgery, that especially the position that he plays, crouching down for 9 innings per game, that I think probably swells up pretty good on him, and very stiff, I would imagine, going to bed that night and the next morning.
Lifts it to left down the line, hooking as Tatis chases. It's over, and it is a foul ball. Two balls, 2 strikes to Varitek. Eric Hinsky waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Varitek, who has been striking out a lot lately, strikes out here. Second strikeout for Hayden Penn.
And a good fastball. That's 2 strikeouts, as you mentioned, for Penn, and both coming on the fastball. A lot of off-speed pitches early, the fastball late, and Varitek late with the swing.
So 2 down, first and second for Eric Hinsky, who struck out back in the first inning as he went swinging. Red Sox have lost 7 of the last 11 games here at Fenway Park. A place that's been very kind to them this season, of course, overall, but it has been a tough stretch, really beginning with that series against the Yankees when New York came in and took 5 in a row. Red Sox home record this year, 47-33. They finish under 500 on the road, 38-43. Red Sox coming into this game at 85-76. They have the fewest wins in a season since 2001. They were 82-79. Outside, it's 3-0. And this will bring Raul Chavez out to talk to Hayden Penn.
I think it might have been a cross up there. It almost looked like Chavez was looking for something other than the breaking ball there in the 2-0 count. Because it was the breaking ball, he had time to adjust to it. As you see the kind of flinch that he had there, which tells you that he was crossed up.
Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by your local Subaru dealers. Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. And by your New England Dodge dealers. Hinsky taking on the 3-0 pitch, and he takes ball 4. This will load the bases for the Red Sox. Second walk of the inning and of the outing allowed by Hayden Penn. So a chance here for Carlos Pena, who has been outstanding lately. A .294 hitter with the bases loaded in his career, 3 grand slams. The Red Sox had won 9 straight at Fenway Park against the Orioles. Part of the loss here last night was their first loss against the Orioles since September 2nd of 2005. Julio Magnon, who had been warming up before the game, is now warming up in the Orioles pen.
Well, Penn had to leave his last start with some lower back stiffness. And maybe that's why they had 2 guys throwing out in the bullpen prior to the ball game, just in case Penn could not go. He only lasted, I believe, 3 innings last time out before he had to get taken out of a game against the Yankees with some lower back stiffness.
All outside of first, and it's 1-2 now to Carlos Pena. He left in the 4th inning after suffering the lower back strain at Yankee Stadium last time out. Marked the 4th time in 5 starts that he had failed to get through 4 innings. He was called up on September 3rd from AAA Ottawa. And this is his 6th major league start of the season, 5th start on the road. 2-2 to Pena. Ball 3.
And a lot of pitches being left upstairs, both fastball and curveball, which may lead you to believe that that's still a little bit of a problem for him.
David Ortiz at third base, Mike Lowell at second base, Eric Hinsky at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd. Red Sox already on top 3-0. Ball 4, and he walks in a run. From 3rd comes Big Papi to put Boston on top 4-0. The 3rd walk of the inning allowed by Hayden Penn.
And you see Mazzoni to the phone to see how far along Magnon is in his preparation to come into the ball game.
An RBI for Carlos Pena, his 3rd in a Red Sox uniform. And it brings up Gabe Kapler, reached on an error committed by Melvin Moore at third base. Kapler has a grand slam in his career, 296 hitter with the bases loaded. And hits it hard on the ground by the dive of Mora. Lowell will score. From 2nd comes Hinsky. Carlos Pena being waved around all the way from first. The throw to the plate is not in time. 3 Boston runners in, and it's 7-0 Red Sox.
Now certainly walks getting Penn in trouble this inning. 3 of them, 1 bringing in a run. Now Kapler right down the third base line past the dive of Melvin Mora. All 3 runners coming across to score. Pena coming in as he slides around the tag and gets home plate with his hand. So that'll be the evening for Hayden Penn.
Well, this call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local Ford store. Every journey begins with a bold move. Start your journey today by visiting your local Ford store. Magnon making his way in at 7-0 Red Sox.
Welcome to the Hub of Hockey on NESN. New England Hockey Night presented by TD Bank North with Bruins-Panthers coverage beginning at 7 o'clock on NESN. This season on NESN, every game ends in overtime. NESN keeps game night on ice. 30 minutes postgame with Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime. Every game night, NESN drops the puck with Bruins Face Off, New England's 30-minute pregame show, hosted by Eric Fried and NESN's veteran Bruins analysts. Know the score before the game with Bruins Face Off.
Now is the time to book Fenway Park for your off-season or holiday events. Whether you have a party in the EMC Club, a seminar in the State Street Pavilion, or an elegant cocktail reception in the Crown Royal Club, Fenway is your home for the winter months as well. For more information, call 617-226-6791 or send an email to events@redsox.com or log on to redsox.com/events.
7-0 Red Sox on top now with 2 outs here in the last half of the 3rd inning. The new pitcher for the Orioles is Julio Magnon.
3 times he's been up and down between the big club and AAA this season, making his 22nd appearance, an 0-1 record. 22 hits in 18 2/3. Opponents hitting .278 against Magnon. And you see the numbers over the last 4 games.
Well, Hayden Penn leaving after just 2 2/3. Charged with 7 runs so far. Still responsible for Kapler at 3rd. He's walked 3, struck out 3. And a total of 58 pitches before he departed. Cora sends it foul off to the left. Cora lining out to Brian Roberts, the second baseman in the 2nd inning. Lined into a double play. So able to double off Carlos Pena at second base.
Nice play by Chavez there to save another run. As this ball bounces in the dirt, slides over and actually catches it on the bounce. Ramon Hernandez, of course, their everyday catcher, had a fine season for the Orioles. Not in the lineup for this afternoon or this evening or tonight.
One hop. Nice play by Roberts to step on the outfield grass to throw out Cora and to end the inning. A 4-run 3rd has Boston on top 7-0.
The 7-time award-winning Suzuki King Quad. Ready for anything but sitting around. $59 goes a long way these days at your local Suzuki dealer during Quad Fair.
See Victory Lane Suzuki on Route 15 in Abbott or VictoryMotorsportsOnline.com.
Did you know about the Maine property tax and rent refund program?
No, I didn't.
And that if you qualify, filing online is the fastest way to get a refund of up to $2,000?
Makes sense. That's cool.
And I'll bet you didn't know you can earn up to $102,000 and still qualify for a refund.
You're right, I didn't.
But you have to apply to get it.
Of course.
To file for your refund, go online or visit your local library or town hall to pick up an application.
I think I'll find out more.
This season on Nesson, every game ends in overtime. Stay tuned after the game for Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime, a 30-minute post-game show hosted by Eric Fried and Nesson's frontline of veteran Bruins analysts. For complete post-game reaction, live commentary, NHL scores, and analysis, Nesson keeps game night on ice. 30 minutes post-game with Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime.
Nesson is premiering 3 exclusive Red Sox specials tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon. It's the Red Sox walk-off marathon. A look at the memorable walk-offs this season. At 9 o'clock, we prepared Big Papi's greatest hits and packed them into a 30-minute slugfest. Then at 9:30, the Golden Retrievers and Junkyard Dogs return for a season-ending edition of the Remy Awards with Jerry Remy. Don't miss this special tomorrow on Nesson. 7-0 Red Sox on top through the first 3. And it's the top of the Orioles order, Brian Roberts, to lead it off. Roberts grounded out to third base first time up. Pitching line is brought to you by Nissan. And so far, Devern Hansack, 31 pitches deep. Just a walk and 2 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. Who plays a ton for the Orioles, who's activated from the disabled list on May 24th. And last night was just the 4th game that he has missed since returning on May the 24th, with last night's game off. There's the 0-2 foul down the left field line, backing out of play.
And unfortunately implicated by Jason Grimsley as a player who used performance-enhancing drugs. Some names popping out yesterday, which is unfortunate here at the end of the season. Roger Clemens' name coming up, Andy Pettit's name, Tejada, Roberts.
Another Oriole, also Jay Gibbons, was on that list. As the pitch outside and the count 1-2.
So not only is it the last day of the season, but you're going to have to defend yourself for the next week or so.
Grimsley last with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This one grounded foul. The numbers for Roberts. Last year, 18 home runs. Prior to that, never hit more than 4. A .314 batting average last year before getting the season-ending injury. Held it off to the left, and it's still 1-2.
Roberts a much better hitter from the left side. 309 to start the game, hitting right-handed for 235 on the season. Only 1 home run from the right side of the plate.
Eagles chasing, striking out, 3rd strikeout for Devern Hansack.
And the first on a changeup. He's got a strikeout on a curveball, a fastball, and now the changeup to Roberts for his 3rd of the afternoon. He looks a lot more comfortable in this game than he did back in that first one against Toronto.
9-pitch at bat for Brian Roberts, but it's Hansack who wins the battle for the first out here of the 4th inning.
Has better stuff this afternoon and also better location of that stuff.
Corey Patterson struck out back in the 1st inning. Breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Went through a stretch of missing 15 games with a shoulder injury. He banged into the center field wall at Texas. In fact, the last time the Red Sox played the Orioles, Patterson was on the disabled list for Baltimore. Runs it inside, evens the count, 2-2 to Patterson. It off and gives us a chance to check out the Aflac trivia question today. And the question is, who is the only Red Sox player to lead the American League in both home runs and in walks? The answer for you a little bit later. Swing and a miss. Patterson goes chasing. Back-to-back Ks for Hansack, 4-all.
And again, a breaking ball. This time, not a good one. It was up and out of the zone, but chased by Patterson. Second time he's got him on the breaking ball this afternoon. Patterson now with 94 strikeouts on the season.
Two down for Melvin Mora. Fly to left. His first time up, almost got hit. Twisting that arm out of the way. He's been hit by 14 pitches. 85 times in his Orioles career. He is second all time for the Orioles. Only Brady Anderson was hit more. 148 times in Brady Anderson's career he was hit by a pitch. But Melvin Mora this year, third in the American League, hit 14 times. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-1. The total is 7 games all year. Moore has been on the DL quite a bit over the last few years. Not this year. He's missed 5 of those games this month, or actually last month in September. And today being October the 1st. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Stays alive. "29 pitches in the first 3 innings for Devern Hansack. He's had to throw 20 alone in this inning. There's Brian Roberts with a long at bat to begin the inning. Ready again with a 2-2 to Melvin Mora. Hops it up right side. Pena into foul ground. Wynn knocking it over, and he comes over to make the catch. That went a ways from where he started to where he ended up. It's a 1-2-3-4 for Hansack. A 7-0 Red Sox lead.
This is America's #1 brand for 19 years. Ford, with the best-selling truck for 29 straight years. 31 miles per gallon. More power, less fuel. Best-in-class all-wheel drive fuel economy. Up to 36 miles per gallon. Strength and efficiency. This is the Ford lineup. Act now and get 0% financing. Plus get extended powertrain coverage for 5 years or 60,000 miles on all 2006 Ford vehicles.
Come on, baby, let's go. Come on,
Oh, sorry. I used all of his change for the new 99-cent KFC Ultimate Cheese Snacker.
KFC snackers now come with cheese?
And they're still only 99 cents? All right. 99.
Looks like we got a snacker backer here.
Introducing the new Ultimate Cheese Snacker from KFC. 100% chicken breast, smothered in a blend of cheddar and Swiss, topped with crisp lettuce, freshly prepared on a sesame seed bun. And like the original KFC Snacker, it's only 99 cents. Now your dollar goes further at KFC.
This trundle bed at only $3.99 is bursting with features and quality, as one of our top salesmen, Doug, will tell you.
There's no better quality than solid wood. A single bed by day, yet sleeps 2 at night.
What a space saver.
Especially with underbed drawer storage.
And whoever has enough drawer space.
That's what I'm talking about. Find all this quality elsewhere for only $3.99?
You can't. No way. Good to go in 3 days or less.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
This is Shelley, calculating patient and shrewd Toyota clearance shopper. She waited for Toyota's clearance deals. She knows she could save. And now, she's making her move. Toyota's last chance clearance is on. 0% financing on the last of the 06 Siennas, or $1,250 cash back on the last of the 06 Highlanders. Toyota's last chance clearance ends October 2nd. Make your move and you won't miss your chance to save. Toyota, moving forward.
Last half of the fourth inning, 7-0. The Red Sox on top. The top of the Red Sox order, Trot Nixon to lead it off. Nixon, Loretta, and Ortiz. As Julio Magnon returns to the mound, he took over for Hayden Penn. Only went 2 2/3. He was charged with all 7 Red Sox runs. Nixon hits it to right down the line. Over goes Newham, and he goes into the slide to make the catch in right field. David Newham with a long run and a good sliding grab for the first out of the inning.
Now it looked like Nixon had his second hit of the afternoon, but Newham got an excellent jump on this. He'll go into the slide on the warning track and take extra bases away from Trot Nixon.
So 1 down for Mark Loretta. Hit by a pitch in the first inning, then scored a run, fly to right last time up. Stuff running inside to Loretta, and it's 2-1. A veteran who signed originally by St. Louis back in 1992. His only previous big league experience to this year with the Orioles was 23 appearances for the Montreal Expos back in 2003. Signed as a minor league free agent by the Orioles heading into this year. Was in Korea last year. Loretta drives one to deep left down the line, and it is gone. Home run number 5 for Mark Loretta. And an 8-0 Red Sox lead.
Well, the home run bat's out this afternoon for the Red Sox. The 3-run home run by Lowell. Now Loretta picks up number 5 on the season. He gets that fastball up and out over the plate. And a line shot that goes over the monster seats. So on a day that's not conducive to hitting, the Red Sox doing plenty of it.
Copy taking ball 1 from Magnon. It's been a while for Mark Loretta. 213 at bats in between home runs. One of the most dramatic of the season, certainly Patriots Day here at Fenway Park, and the walk-off home run. Ball 2 to Ortiz, 2-0. Foul out and a walk so far tonight for Big Papi. Lifts it down the left field line. Fernando Tatis over, but not going to have a play. Into the seats. Ortiz up in the pen for the Orioles. Strike, and it evens up at 2-2. Working the outside portion that time was Magnon. Mike Lowell, who hit a 3-run home run back in the first inning, waits on deck. Hope the Red Sox get off to the fast start today. Ball 4, and Ortiz heads down to first base.
Well, here's your chance to win a day moose hunting with Jonathan Papelbon in Maine this October and help a charity at the same time. You can buy a raffle ticket or bid on this auction item on eBay to join Jonathan on the moose hunt hosted by the Passamaquoddy tribe. All proceeds will benefit the Chief Francis Memorial Fund. To purchase a raffle ticket, send $100 to the address on your screen by October 14th. The eBay auction ends on Wednesday, October 7th.
Nice job.
Very good.
Very nice.
You guys make this a lot harder than it looks.
Ashley Adamson. Nicely done. Done a great job for us all year long.
And that's the toughest promo we got.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I had her start reading that the other day. Big Papi in the curtain call at Fenway. And really, this has become the summer of David Ortiz. And a disappointing year for the Red Sox, but a fun season to watch Big Papi. As Mirabelli runs for him at first base. I don't know the last time Doug Mirabelli ran for somebody.
Well, kind of fitting that it would end on a walk for David Ortiz. 2 walks this afternoon, and on the season now 119. That will be the most in the American League.
He will finish up with 54 homers and 137 runs batted in. Strike 3 is Lowell knew it and takes with him the second strikeout for Julio Manyon.
Change up from Manyon to pick up the strikeout. I think completely fooling Mike Lowell. Did not expect to see that off-speed pitch. Well, if it wasn't an 8-0 ball game, I'm sure Mirabelli would be a certain threat to steal in this situation. 2 career pinch running appearance. Didn't he have another one earlier this year?
Yeah, I thought he did too. I was thinking about it after I said it. I think it has happened this year. As Varitek with a swing and a miss.
The last one was back in 2004 for Doug Mirabelli. Seemed like this year.
Yeah, well, you know, the years all kind of blend together. In the cut that time, Varitek, and it's 0-2. Jason has fly to center and struck out swinging. Varitek earlier this year getting his second career grand slam back on May 7th. That was against the Orioles. Swing and a miss. Second time he struck out tonight. Back-to-back Ks for Manyon. It is the Red Sox on top in this one, 8-0.
When you're considering a new car, do you think about the real value of that car? Or what determines value? Is it legendary engineering? Is it operating expense? Fuel efficiency? All things considered, only one car rises to the top. The Accord from Honda.
Lease a Honda Accord for $239 a month for well-qualified customers.
Fox 61 won the Mark Twain Award for Overall Station Excellence and was awarded Connecticut's Best Newscast by the Associated Press. Then Fox 61 was honored with more Emmy Awards than any other Connecticut TV station, including Best Team Coverage. In July, no 10 or 11 p.m. newscast had more viewers than Fox 61 News at 10. Thanks, Connecticut, for making us your home for award-winning news, the coolest comedy, pulse-pounding drama, and the biggest events in entertainment and sports. When it happens on television, Connecticut knows it happens on Fox 61.
Sullivan Tire has been helping people reach their destinations for more than 50 years. At South Shore Hospital, the staff in the neonatal intensive care unit help tiny newborns get to the most important destination of all, home. These caring professionals provide expert care to babies born prematurely or with medical complications. The spirit they bring to the communities we live in gives new meaning to being here to get you there.
Sullivan Tire salutes those driven to care.
The biggest savings of the year during the Ford Model Year Clearance. Now get 0% financing for up to 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on select 2006 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus get extended 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain coverage on every 2006 Ford. The Ford Model Year Clearance with 0% for up to 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. Hurry, this offer ends soon. See your local Ford store today.
Back at rainy Fenway, where it's time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Who was the only Red Sox player to lead the American League in both home runs and in walks? And the answer, Ted Williams, did it in 1947. He won the Triple Crown that season, .343 average, 32 home runs, 114 runs batted in, and 162 walks back in 1947. Now here comes Dustin Pedroia out to second base to spell Mark Loretta. A little curtain call here for Mark Loretta, and a fine season for the Red Sox second baseman who homered last inning. So Pedroia takes over at second base as Miguel Tejada stands in. Tejada struck out looking his first time up as this one carved foul off to the right. A very solid season this year for Mark Loretta.
As I mentioned early in the season, you know, we kind of lost touch with Mark Loretta since going to the National League, and I was surprised when I looked at his numbers, how consistent they had been throughout his major league career. And another very consistent year. He did dip a little bit in the second half of the season offensively, but you're talking about a guy that finished with what, 4 errors at second base?
Yeah. It appeared he played through a lot of pain too with the quad. A lot of people ended up on the DL. He did not, battling his way through.
And a nice way to finish on a home run as the rain starts to really come down here at Fenway.
One and two the count to Tejada. A swing and a miss. Tejada strikes out for the second time. 5 Ks for Hansack.
Hansack just really going after these Oriole hitters this afternoon, and now in the rain, the breaking ball for the strikeout against Tejada. Tejada in that DH spot, which is a very strange one for him.
One down for Fernando Tatis, who walked in the second inning. Swing and a miss. Only one Oriole has reached a walk by Tatis back in the second, and that has been it. 5 strikeouts now for Hansack, and the 1 walk. Final chip held onto by Veritek, 0-2.
I'm glad Tina wore that rain hat down there today, that's for sure. This is coming down pretty good now. What is this? Oh, that's
Bill Titus.
It's a very stylish Bill Titus.
Tomaselli somewhere in that. There he is.
Today's the first time I saw him with a hat, a sweatshirt, and long pants on. First time ever.
Strike 3 call, back-to-back Ks for Hansack's got 6 in all. Well, David Murphy is headed out to right field here, it appears, as Trot Nixon's going to be coming off, maybe for the last time in a Red Sox uniform.
That has to be a very, very strange feeling for Trot Nixon. Longtime member of the Red Sox organization, the longest in the organization, and who knows what the future holds.
David Murphy in right field now for the Red Sox as Chris Gomez batting. And the count of 1-1, 2 down here in the 5th. Fly ball center field. Kapler makes his way in through the raindrops and makes the catch that ends the inning. We have played 4.5, and it is an 8-0 Red Sox lead.
This is John, calculating patient and shrewd Toyota clearance shopper. He waited for Toyota's clearance deals. He knows he could save, and now he's going for it. Toyota's last chance clearance is on. 3.9% financing on the last of the 06 Tacoma 4x4s. That's the lowest APR offer ever. Toyota's last chance clearance ends October 2nd. Go for it, and you won't miss your chance to save. Toyota, moving forward.
Sad to say, but the average lifespan of a heating system isn't much greater than 15 years. Which means if your system is starting to show its age, it's time to call Airtem. We can design and install the system that's right for you. Plus, we offer deferred payment financing and huge energy savings with our high-efficiency units. Call or visit our website today, and be sure to check out our current web specials. Airtem, today's forecast, perfect indoor conditions.
This is Shelley, calculating patient and shrewd Toyota clearance shopper. She waited for Toyota's clearance deals. She knows she could save, and now she's making her move. Toyota's last chance clearance is on. 0% financing on the last of the 06 Siennas, or $1,250 cash back on the last of the 06 Highlanders. Toyota's last chance clearance ends October 2nd. Make your move and you won't miss your chance to save. Toyota, moving forward.
The celebration is on. The 10th anniversary of Hartford Wolfpack Hockey. If you're looking for the coolest game in town, this is the one. Opening night is October 7th with a commemorative ticket giveaway courtesy of Verizon and a magnet schedule from the Hartford. Get into the action at the Civic Center box office through Ticketmaster or at HartfordWolfpack.com. Celebrating 10 years.
Tonight at 10 and 11, stay with Nesson for Sports Death with Hazel May and Catherine Tappan, presented by FW Webb, home of Frank Webb's Bass Centers. Among the topics tonight, complete coverage of the Patriots looking to improve to 3-1 with a win against the Bengals. All the action around the NFL and the 10 best sports moments of the week in the Perfect 10. That's Sports Death with Hazel May, Catherine Tappan, maybe soon Ashley Adams. To hear that, Joel Bell. Tonight at 10 and 11, only on Nesson.
Well, it is 8-0. The Red Sox on top as we head to the last half of the 5th. And the new pitcher is Russ Ortiz.
Ortiz making his 20th appearance for the Orioles. He has made 5 starts. A record of 0-3. He was 0-5 in the National League in 6 starts before coming over to Baltimore. You see the numbers against the Red Sox. Oh, it's really coming down, isn't it, Don?
It sure is. Started last inning and really coming down now. As Eric Kinski leads it off and slaps it foul off to the left. Kinski, Pena, and Kepler expected to bat here in the 5th.
We will not be here next Sunday, October 8th, but there's a very big wedding coming up. Adrian Ryder and Bruce Orman are getting married next Sunday. They are somehow friendly with Adam Jupiter, I believe. There's some Jupiter connection here, but of course we won't be here to say that. Good luck next week on the 8th, so good luck next week on the 8th. Should be quite an event.
Being associated with Adam Jupiter is quite an event.
No, anything that has anything to do with Adam is going to be huge. You know that. His Jets. How did his Jets make out today?
Not too good.
Lost again?
Yes, they did.
Ah, that's a shame. I got the football game on right next to me.
I noticed.
38-13 New England. Take that, Kevin Youkilis, if you're listening.
Hinske drives one to deep right down the line. Will it stay fair?
Yes, it will.
It will, and it's gone. Eric Kinski, first home run in a Red Sox uniform as he makes his way around to put the Red Sox on top 9-0. Third Boston home run of the game.
Now Hinske will finish the season with a 10-game hitting streak and hits number 13 on a ball that's down and in. Very deep out to right field.
And Carlos Pena.
I think it's raining hotter right now than it did all day.
I think so too. What a 3-hour rain delay here before the start of the game.
It's only 7 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter in Cincinnati. Boy, then our ratings are really going to jump when that game's over.
Ortiz taking over for Julio Magnon. Went an inning into 3rd, giving up 1 hit, 1 run. Hayden Penn gave up 7 in just 2 2/3 for the Orioles. Single and a walk. He has scored a run, but he's been on base twice. Batting for the 3rd time here in the game. It off, stays alive, still 3-2. And Kepler waiting on deck, over by the mud as the rain starts to collect on the track all the way around.
Is this just like a passing shower, or is this like the junk we went through for 4 hours this afternoon?
It sounded like they were anticipating another band of showers coming through, and this must be the band. Ball 4 and a walk to Carlos Pena.
Now this has been a very difficult week for one of our very close friends, Jerry Trupiano, who is over to my right, and a lot of rumors floating around, and we certainly hope are not true. Don, you and I have known Truppy now for a number of years. He's one of our closest friends. We travel back and forth to the ballpark together. He is so well prepared in the job that he does. He loves sports of all kind, in particular baseball. Very nice announcer. And, you know, it's business decisions. I don't know what's going to happen. But whatever happens, Truppy will always be a friend, and we hope he's back.
Well said. Moore to second for one on to first, and it's a double play. And there's 2 down. Yeah, it really has been a really not a tough week, but a tough year all year for Truppy.
It was a story that came out earlier this week that I think really crushed Jerry Trupiano, without doubt. That has been hanging over him all season long, in particular for the last 10 days. And for a guy that's as dedicated as he is to his job and the professional way that he goes about it, it's got to be very difficult for him. And it has been very difficult for him. And we feel it because we know him so well. What would a ride out to the park be without troops? You know what I mean?
That's absolutely true. Wiping that water off the bill of the helmet here as it is continuing to pound down.
Anytime you have conditions like this, as long as you can keep the water from dripping down on your helmet and your bat somewhat dry, the hitter has the advantage. I mean, you put the ball in play, it slides all over the place.
Chopped right side. Gomez flips to the covering pitcher Ortiz for the out that ends the inning. We have played 5 from Fenway. It is 9-0 Boston.
Your flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly, offering snacks for sale for $5. Also available, in-flight magazines for $3. If you'd like to rent a pillow or blanket, that'll be $2. You need to use the restroom? That fee's $4. If you need anything else, feel free to push that call button for a minimum fee of $1.
How far are they going to go? For 35 years, Southwest Airlines has offered low fares with no strings attached.
You are now free to move about the country.
For the largest selection of gas and diesel motorhomes in New England, it's USRV. From Airstream, American Eagle, and Travel Supreme, it's USRV.
From lightweight travel trailers to luxury motorhomes, this is the sale you've been waiting for. USRV Summer Spectacular. From A to Z, it's USRV.
Quantity, quality, and price. It's USRV. My name is Marty, and we make better deals.
Take a chance, make it happen.
Coward.
Pop the cork, finger snapping.
No brainer.
Spin the wheel, round and round.
Did these come in red?
Let's meet and have a ball. Let's live for the wonder of it all. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all.
Pulling back here at Fenway Park where they're pulling the tarp. As the umpires come together and the tarp is being pulled, Larry Van Over, who I think is the acting crew chief here, Charlie Rutherford had been the crew chief of this crew, but it's a mixed crew and they have called for the tarp. As the rain actually has let up a little bit here compared to last inning, but it is still raining hard. There's no doubt about that.
I think, if the, and obviously David Mella knows how long this is, has an idea how long this is going to go. And I don't think they would just, bring this top out for the heck of it if they thought it was going to stop within seconds. So, and boy, is that thing heavy. It's been wet all afternoon. This crew is getting the workout in on their last day here at Fenway Park.
It is a 9-0 Red Sox advantage here. We're about to start the top half of the 6th inning. And for Devern Hansack, an incredible 5 innings here so far. And depending upon how long this delay would be, maybe the end of his outing, which would be certainly a sad thing in his second major league start. And just the 1 walk back in the 2nd inning, and that's all he has given up. 6 strikeouts for Devern Hansack as the rains come again here today. Let's check in with Tina Cervasio. Tina?
Thank you so much. Canine Companions for Independence are at the ballpark again today, and I am joined by Thad, Simone, and Kathy, and they are here with their companion dogs. And Thad, I'm going to ask you first, tell me a little bit about your companion dog and how he's helped you.
I've had Tyne for 9 years now, and she is invaluable. She helps me by retrieving items, hitting light switches, opening doors, stuff like that.
It's absolutely amazing what these dogs can do, and the Red Sox Foundation, Macy's, and Nesson are sponsoring the Canine Companions calendar. The 2007 calendar is coming out, and these dogs have been models along with Red Sox players. And Simone, tell me a little bit about your companion dog.
Well, he's my best friend, and he helps me do a lot of things like pick things up off the floor and turn on light switches that I can't reach. But most of all, he makes it much easier socially to engage with people because they're much friendlier because you have a dog with you. To engage in conversation.
Thad's mom is here. This is Kathy, and Kathy is actually a puppy trainer. And how do you train these dogs to do these incredible things for people like Thad and Simone?
Well, I'm a volunteer puppy raiser. That's the cool title. And my job is just to socialize them and get them used to all kinds of sights and sounds and places and Red Sox games.
And thank you so much for all that you guys do. And I guess you guys are very thankful for your canine companions, right? And again, those calendars will be available, and the website is cci.org. So go to the website, find out when you can get your calendar. And if you buy a calendar, you raise money for Canine Companions for Independence. Now back to you.
All right, Tina, thanks very much. We are in the midst of another rain delay, better than 3 hours before the game. And now here in the top half of the 6th inning, they have put on the tarp for the Red Sox on top 9-0. So while we wait to resume, let's check out some of the sights, sounds, and images of the 2006 season.
We've walked together down this winding road in search of something true. Together we grew. But now our journey has come to an end, and it's on to something new. For me and you. So goodbye, my friend, until we meet again some other day. I know so much will change, but looking back, I can say I wouldn't change a day. I hope you can say the same. With
to deep right. Back goes Kadire. It's up, it's gone. A new Red Sox single-season record for home runs. 51 as David Ortiz now stands alone. So goodbye, my friend, until we meet again some other day. I know so much will change, but looking back, I can say I wouldn't change a day. I hope you can say, I hope you can say, just say.
Well, a lot of great moments in 2006, and it may not be over yet. We're in the top of the 6th inning and a rain delay. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Tom Caron will be with Dennis Eckersley in the midst of yet another rain delay.
Is officially over.
You know, it's just ironic how this whole thing just sort of, thank goodness they finally called it. I mean, just take us out of our misery, will you?
This is live. You can see Jason Varitek taking off his equipment, the guys leaving the dugout and heading off to the clubhouse and to the offseason, which has officially begun. The Red Sox win a truncated game. 9-0 is the final in 5 innings. The 2006 season has come to an end. We're back with WB Mason's Extra Innings next.
Feel the freedom during New England Subaru dealers' final chance clearance event. Buy a brand new all-wheel drive Subaru Outback, the best-selling wagon in America, and get $2,750 cash back or 0% financing. Subaru is America's #1 selling all-wheel drive vehicle. Drive one today at your local New England Subaru dealer. Feel the freedom and get $2,750 cash back or 0% financing.
You are our neighbors. You teach. You cheer. You sacrifice. You help those around you. You love your little corner of the world. Here at Extra Mart, we are proud to serve you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Extra Mart offers irresistibly delicious, extra nutritious Nesquik at our everyday low price of 2 for $2. Nesquik, kid delicious, mom nutritious.
If this looks like your day, see what a difference Mercury Mountaineer can make. Oops. Mercury Mountaineer brings more style to your everyday life every day.
Now lease Mercury Mountaineer at this great rate. See your New England Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
You gotta put Mercury on your list.
Every game night, Nesson drops the puck with Bruins Face Off, New England's 30-minute pregame show, hosted by Eric Freed and Nesson's veteran Bruins analysts. Know the score before the game with Bruins Face Off.
Sports Desk, New England's most complete sports newscast, from the field to the locker room, delivered right into your home. Sports Desk tonight, presented by FW Web, in-depth coverage beyond the scores.
The lights are still on at Fenway Park, but they will be turned off shortly as they'll take off the tarp and pack it away until next April. Season's over, folks, as a rain-shortened game has come to an end. 9-0 is the final for the final time. We welcome you to WB Mason's Extra Innings. Tom Caron along with Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley, and Red Sox waited 3 hours and 23 minutes to play this one. Then they waited some 43 minutes to end this one. In between, they were able to put up 9 runs on the board and get 5 nice innings from Devern Hansack, who becomes the 9th pitcher, we're told, to pitch a no-hitter that didn't make the 9 innings. The first time it's happened since 1992.
It's nice. He puts his name sort of like in the pile, because I think spring training there's going to open up a lot of different openings, whether it be the bullpen or even the starting rotation. So at least his name is in the mix. You know who this guy guy is, even though it was a strange way how he got here.
Yeah, he'll finish with a 1-1 record and a 2.70 ERA in his couple of appearances. Those are nice numbers, no matter how they came about. Those are nice numbers to take with you in the offseason. We'll do things a little differently here in the postgame show today, wrapping up the year as much as we wrap up this game. And something we did about a week ago with Gary D. Sarcina earlier this week with Jim Rice, sort of ask a couple of questions of you as we look back on the year that was. And obviously there were a lot of down points, but there were some good moments that we have to remember as well. What was your favorite moment of the year?
You know, it's strange. It had nothing really to do with the success of the Red Sox. It was a player that came, you know, from another team to come back and visit Fenway Park, and it's because of the feelings I've had for Pedro. You know, I played with him my last year. I mean, the kind of talent that this guy was, for him to come back here and they played that video of him, was, to me, was touching. And I just really, I love this guy. I really do. I mean, he was a little prima donna, but who cares? That's the nature of being a great, great pitcher. And I watched this guy be probably one of the greatest 5-year, strings of throwing over the course of the American League and being the hitting part of this league, to do what he did and dominate like he did, 117 and 37 as a Red Sox with a 2.5 ERA in the American League, punched out about 1,700 guys. I love this guy, and I don't think I've ever seen, I didn't play with Roger Clemens long enough, but this guy was the greatest pitcher I ever got a chance to play with.
You know what is remarkable coming into that start? He was 7-3 with a 3.01. A lot of things have happened, most recently now the rotator cuff and the other injury, but from that start on, 2-5, 8.74, almost like the beginning of the end was that night.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I was kind of sad for him the way he pitched that night. Somebody took him deep. I mean, it just was an awful appearance. It's funny how he pitched like that, and he kept pitching like that. And he's probably had this arm problem for a long, long time. He probably had it then, but it just sort of caught up with him. You know, he could still go out there and throw 85, 86 miles an hour and get people out, but it finally caught up with him. He wasn't throwing anything the last 2 starts.
How about the biggest surprise? Who or what surprised you the most over the course of 2006?
You know, now you get used to it. You think Papelbon has done this for years, the way he did it, but it's a surprise going into the season. Who thought that Papelbon? I thought he was going to have a good year, whatever he did, but I didn't know, first of all, he was going to have this kind of success, you know, closing games out with the dominance, the way he did it. And at one point, you're thinking about him being Cy Young, MVP, Rookie of the Year, the whole thing. I still think he has a real good shot at being Rookie of the Year, but the way he did it, man, he took to this, you know. I mean, this guy has no fear, and you watched him mature in this role, to the point where he was like staring at the catcher, and he just has his. He's already got an act out there, and I think he really enjoyed doing that. And I mean, he was clutch. He was the reason why even halfway during the season, he was a big part of it. And it's just too bad that he hurt his arm, but I don't know, he probably would have put up close to 50 saves.
And now he seems to think he's going back to the rotation.
That's not a bad thing. You know, it's not that easy. You know, it's easier said than done going out there and being a starting pitcher and have the kind of success he had compared to relieving. It's not that easy.
Saved his first 20 opportunities and shattered the Red Sox rookie record. Meantime, how about an unsung hero who exceeded anything you expected from?
Well, you know, I was always iffy with Euclid when he first came on the scene. I just was. I mean, you just didn't know what he was capable of. Everybody talked about, oh, this guy is the god of walks or the Greek of whatever. And he ended up being just that. His on-base percentage was incredible. You know, he started off not being a leadoff, but he took to the leadoff position after Coco went down and was dynamite. This guy was doing it all. At some point, he was flirting with 330 for about half the season. He ended up, with about 42 doubles, but he just gave great at-bats. I'm talking about a guy that would, I think he was right up there with the league leaders in pitches per at-bat, and you'd think he'd been around for a long, long time the way he played. And he played a dynamite first base. He really did. Like darn near a Golden Glove first baseman, and he's never really played over there that much. And he even went out to left field late in the season, but this kid really had a solid year for them. And he looked like he's been around a long, long time, and he really, really hasn't. And I was really impressed with him, and I'm a big Euclid fan after this.
.995 fielding position over at first base, fielding percentage over at first base. And we forget that we had watched J.T. Snow here at the beginning of the year, and everyone thought we were going to see a lot of him. In the end, he was expendable.
I forgot all about J.T. Snow at this point.
They did not need him, and they spent some money to bring him in. All right, the Red Sox needs. Obviously, we talked to the pregame show today, a long time ago, about the weaknesses that were exposed through the injuries and all. But when it's all said and done, what is the biggest need for improvement next year?
Well, I'd like to say the bullpen, but the pitching staff in particular. I mean, and if you, what stands out probably is the bullpen. If you take away Papelbon, you're talking about a bullpen that everybody struggled in that bullpen. Even Timlin, who was so great for the last 3 years. And you see Folk right there. He even missed a couple of months. But Hansen, you know, he maybe got called up too soon. This guy was inconsistent. We know he's got a great arm, but he was all over the place. They called up several guys. Corey, I mean, you can't really get on him, but Tavares was kind of a bust. You know, at the end of the season starting, he's done a nice job, but he was kind of a bust. Rudy Cianez was a bust. And then he called up Del Carmen. May have been here too early, who knows, but he looked good on and off, but yet overall he was inconsistent. And Timlin, who I'm a big fan of still, I still think he can pitch, and he will pitch somewhere, if not for the Red Sox. I hope they do re-sign him. He had a lot of problems, you know, and so everybody was inconsistent out of the bullpen, and it just was glaring. You know, if it wasn't for Papelbon, this would have been a total bust. But that's not to say that some of these guys can't rebound. Folk in particular, we saw how he's pitched the last month of the season. He is going to be back. And you've got Del Carmen and Hansen that's going to mature. I mean, they've got some young talent there. I think if they add somebody, you know, a veteran out there, and that's easier said than done, because if Papelbon goes into the rotation, you're going to have problems out there. So, yeah, there's some choices to be made, and I don't really know who's out there.
You'll need to add a closer. I mean, there are some guys out there. Where we saw Bob Wickman in the Atlanta uniform. There's Danny Baez, Eric Gagne's out there, but there's a lot of question marks with all these guys. You and I both agree Brad Lidge, if you can get him in a trade.
Oh, my God, I'd take him in a heartbeat. That would help a lot.
All right, of all these guys who could leave, the free agents, we saw Loretta come off the field, Trot Nixon. Who's one guy you think they ought to bring back?
Well, spinning out from the bullpen, I think, is Timlin. This guy has taken the ball for 3 years. I'm talking about 80 times a year. I mean, this guy, I love the way he pitches because he throws strikes. His fastball, he moves. He's got a great sinker. I think this year he's had, you know, early on because of that World Baseball thing, he came out of that, and I don't think he threw the ball very well for a month. That's not all of his excuse, I know, but he just didn't get off to a good start, and his location was bad. But you know, I'll tell you what, I look at his stuff, and he still throws the ball very well. And when you go into this offseason thinking you need a relief pitcher, this would kind of be the guy you're looking for. If I was another general manager, I'd say, you know, I'd take that Timlin guy. So here's a guy that you have. Maybe he scuffled this year a little bit. I still think he can throw, and I wouldn't get rid of him.
Without a World Baseball Classic at the beginning of the year, too, I think he'll be back to the Mike Timlin of old.
I hope so.
All right, I want to let you know Terry Francona and Theo Epstein will be addressing the media in just a little bit over at Fenway Park. We will stay here and keep it with you and take that press conference live, kind of a season wrap-up for those two guys. It'll be interesting what they have to say, and we will have it for you live here before we sign off for the final time. Right now, we head back to the ballpark and check in on a long, soggy afternoon as we go to Tina Servasio.
Thank you very much. Well, the Red Sox 2006 season comes to an end. It's a rain-shortened game, but the Red Sox do come out victorious. And coming up, I'll go one-on-one with manager Terry Francona in Terry's Take. Now, the manager will also hold a press conference with general manager Theo Epstein, so stay tuned for that. And we'll be heading into the clubhouse to get Red Sox post-game reaction from the players at the conclusion of the 2006 season. But for now, W.B. Mason's Extra Innings will be back with Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley as the Red Sox beat the Orioles 9-0 in 5 innings.
Feel the freedom during New England Subaru dealers' final chance clearance event. Buy a brand new all-wheel drive Subaru Outback, the best-selling wagon in America, and get $2,750 cash back or 0% financing. Subaru is America's #1 selling all-wheel drive vehicle. Drive one today at your local New England Subaru dealer. Feel the freedom and get $2,750 cash back or 0% financing.
You are our neighbors. You teach. You cheer. You sacrifice. You help those around you. You love your little corner of the world. Here at Extra Mart, we are proud to serve you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Extra Mart offers irresistibly delicious, extra nutritious Nesquik at our everyday low price of 2 for $2. Nesquik, kid delicious, mom nutritious.
If this looks like your day, see what a difference Mercury Mountaineer can make. Oops. Mercury Mountaineer brings more style to your everyday life every day. Now lease Mercury Mountaineer at this great rate.
See your New England Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
You gotta put Mercury on your list.
Every game night, Nesson drops the puck with Bruins Face Off, New England's 30-minute pregame show, hosted by Eric Freed and Nesson's veteran Bruins analysts. Know the score before the game with Bruins Face Off.
Sports Desk, New England's most complete sports newscast. From the field to the locker room, delivered right into your home. Sports Desk tonight, presented by FW Web, in-depth coverage beyond the scores.
For our Subaru Star of the Year, brought to you by the Subaru dealers of New England, all-wheel drive all year long. Feel the freedom. Big Papi led the American League of 54 homers and 137 RBI. Second in Major League Baseball in both categories, just behind Ryan Howard, who had 4 more homers and 9 more RBI. 54 homers, as you know, the most in a single season in Red Sox history, breaking Jimmy Foxx's record from 1938. It ties the 9th most ever in an American League season. He is the first player to lead the AL in homers and RBI since A-Rod did it with Texas in 2002. Tony Armas in 1984, the last Red Sox player to do it. He's also the first player to lead the American League in RBI consecutive years since Albert Bell did it back in 95-96. So you're talking some impressive, long-standing numbers. And through it all, through the heart scare, through the collapse of the season, Big Papi just kept that sweet swing going.
You know, his name was tossed around everywhere. He got so much attention, you know, nationally. He was on SI magazine cover, and you know, the way he is, I mean, he's just, it's contagious. Everybody likes Papi, you know, they just do. But the thing about it, and that stands out with me, is I've talked to a lot of guys over the years that have played a long, long time and say, was this guy the best clutch hitter you've ever seen? And it's like they stumble with words. They can't think of anybody else. Because if you sat here and watched this over the course of the last 3 years, and you add to it some of the postseason, there's not too many guys like this. And so we get kind of spoiled watching this. But, you know, what I see more, you can't even have a left-handed pitcher come in there and get him. And there's no guarantee. I think he went deep 17 times at least off left-handed hitters. And he was backlegging everybody. And it ended at the end of the season against one of the best left-handers in the game, Santana. He took him deep to break the record here. And I thought that he did that in like stylish fashion to take that guy deep, first pitch. And so, I mean, it's a pleasure to watch him. I mean, where does he go from here? I mean, my goodness, if he doesn't hit 45 jacks, at least it's like he had a bad year. Yeah. And so I think he put his goals are, you know, the bar is set so high for him. He did it himself. So, I mean, he's in trouble, man. You can't, where do you go from 54? I mean, that's 55. Tough to follow.
That's all. I just need 55 next year. 18 homers off left-handed pitchers, led baseball in that category. Also, more road home runs than anyone else in Major League Baseball. What a year for David Ortiz, and the year has come to an end. Let's hear for the final time Terry's Take. Terry Francona with Tina Cervasio.
Tom, thank you very much. Terry, Devern Hansack. He does get the Major League complete game shutout, but no hits from the Orioles. What did you think of his performance tonight?
I thought he was outstanding. And, you know, in the midst of a lot of emotion, you know, from a lot of veteran players, he kept his poise. He threw strikes. It was raining, and he did a great job. And the only thing we could do today was win the game. And the way he pitched, and Mike Lowell's hitting, and Loretta, and some really special things happened, and ended up being a pretty good day.
What was the emotion in the dugout with the curtain calls and also with the home runs today?
You know, there's a lot of emotion. It's hard to, you know, it happens, and you don't want to really get emotional during the middle of a game, but you spend a lot of time with these guys, and you see the hard work and what it means to them in this game. And there's a lot of ups and downs, and, you know, guys like Trot Nixon and Loretta, you know, Trot's been here a long time, and it does get very emotional, and we care. And again, you don't know what's going to happen, but I was glad they got to run off the field and let the fans show their appreciation.
Now, we know you have meetings tomorrow, and there's a lot of operational meetings during this week, but is there any time for Terry Francona? What are you doing for some time for yourself in the off season?
No, not yet. Everybody, we get our time, but it's important that we remain organized, and, you know, communicate is the biggest word, and we'll do that. When we don't play games, you know, having meetings is no big deal for me. Just got to stay busy anyway, but I'll get my time.
And we will keep up with you in the offseason.
You got it. Thanks, Tina.
All right, thank you, Terry. Tom, back to you.
All right, Tina, thank you. Time for our WB Mason delivery of the year. It's a record-setting year for the Red Sox defense. They led the majors with a .98906 fielding percentage, 66 errors, 12 fewer than anyone else in the American League. The Sox current error total is second lowest in Major League history, behind the 65 set by Seattle in 2003. It was a remarkable defensive season for the Red Sox.
And, you know, I don't think anybody that goes back a long time with the Red Sox have seen any kind of year like this defensively. And they were on a run that, like nobody's business. You know, they had an errorless game streak there for a while, and they almost set like all-time records. And they came real short.
They did set the all-time record for fielding percentage. I believe that is a Major League Baseball record, the .98906, and they just missed the error mark you were told about. But with total chances, the fielding percentage is the best in the history of baseball.
When I know as a pitcher, you come to Fenway Park, it's not a pretty place to pitch, you know. But when you see a guy like Gonzalez playing shortstop like that, I mean, it makes you want to pitch for a team like this when you know that everything that's out there is going to be caught.
All right, don't forget, we're going to be here until we hear from Terry Francona and Theo Epstein. Their season-ending press conference is coming up in just a little bit. And as we wrap up the season and the show here, we're going to pay tribute to some of the people you don't get to see. That's Courtney Burns and Doug Miller back on the bench, making sure all the graphics and stats are right. And in case you were wondering, that's Courtney on the right, Doug on the left. We're back in a moment.
You only have 96 hours. The Dodge 96-hour clearance event. From right now until October 2nd, get our best offer of the year. 0% financing for 72 months and make no monthly payments until March 2007. Only 96 hours to get the best deals on Dodge Durango with the best interior room in its class. And only 96 hours to get Dodge Grand Caravan featuring exclusive stow-and-go seating and storage. The Dodge 96-hour clearance event. Remember, it's only 96 hours. This offer ends October 2nd.
On Nesson, every game ends in overtime. Stay tuned after the game for Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime, a 30-minute post-game show hosted by Eric Fried and Nesson's frontline of veteran Bruins analysts. For complete post-game reaction, live commentary, NHL scores, and analysis, Nesson keeps game night on ice. 30 minutes post-game with Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime. It's where hockey hits home.
Trace Bergeron blasts one home.
And where history meets high def.
Boyce shot, score! What a goal by Brad Boyce!
Nesson, the hub of hockey. Welcome to the hub of hockey on Nesson. New England Hockey Night presented by TD Bank North with Bruins Panthers coverage beginning at 7 o'clock on Nesson. Every game night, Nesson drops the puck with Bruins Face Off, New England's 30-minute pregame show, hosted by Eric Fried and Nesson's veteran Bruins analysts. Know the score before the game with Bruins Face Off.
I think they're kind of glad it's over, Tina. This has been an unusual year. I mean, and obviously I preface that by saying there's 25 guys in there who'd rather be playing in October. But that said, given the circumstances that have happened and everything, you know, I think they're ready to go home.
Josh Beckett has to pitch up to his reputation and his salary. He was a terrible pitcher, basically, based on totally the numbers do not reflect how bad he was overall. If he's not better than this, then that's one of the worst things to happen to the Red Sox in years.
All right, don't forget tomorrow night here on Nesson, we've got a special night of baseball coverage for you. You know the season has come to an end. We're still celebrating the high points, and David Ortiz, certainly the high point of a Red Sox season, will have all his greatest hits packed into a 30-minute slugfest, followed by the Remy Awards, the season-ending edition hosted by Jerry Remy. Don't miss the action tomorrow at 9 and again at 9:30. Right here on Nesson. National League action today. St. Louis with a chance to clinch the Central in the NL, but they decided not to start Chris Carpenter. Anthony Reyes gets the start, and he didn't last a full inning. Prince Fielder with a two-run homer, 4 in the first. Jorge Sosa pitching in the fourth. Mike Rivera with a homer. 5-0. Brewers lead it. Now the Cards start to come back. 3 homers in the 9th, including one by yesterday's hero Scott Spezio. His second straight hit off Francisco Cordero, but Cordero would ultimately nail it down as he gets Juan Encarnacion swinging to end the game. Milwaukee wins it 5-3, so the magic number stays at 1. The Astros in Atlanta taking on the Braves. And the Braves not helping Phil Garner's team very much. Jeff Francona with a solo homer off Chris Sampson, 29th of the year for Francona, and a 2-0 lead for the Braves. Then Andrew Jones with a ground ball here. There's an out at third. Chipper Jones scores, but Andrew Jones is safe. He comes all the way around to third on a throwing error by Mike Lamb. 3-0 Braves. Houston could only get 1 run on the board. Lance Berkman lines out to end the game. So that's it. That ends the season. The Astros took it to the final day, but they couldn't force an extra day. Had they been able to win that game, of course, they would only be a half game back, and St. Louis would have had to take on San Francisco tomorrow in the makeup of a rained-out game. Instead, the season comes to an end. The Cardinals hold on to win the National League Central. The West was up for grab. We knew that both San Diego and the Dodgers were going to the postseason, but we didn't know who was going where. The Dodgers win, the Padres win, so they finished tied at 88 and 74. But San Diego wins the tiebreaker. And so we look at the matchups here. It'll be St. Louis taking on San Diego. The Dodgers taking on the Mets. San Diego gets home field advantage, as do the Mets. Game 1 Wednesday for the St. Louis-San Diego series. And a surprise, you and I were talking, we thought the Los Angeles Mets game would be the marquee 8 o'clock matchup. I'm sure the Yankees are getting that.
Must be the Yankees. But, you know, when we go to those matchups like that, I'm trying to think, you know, obviously everybody thinks St. Louis going into this has got to be the worst team out of the 4. But stranger things have happened. But you look at each rotation there, that's how you have to go by this whole thing. It's all about pitching in these short series like that. You know, and St. Louis has Carpenter, and he's ready to pitch. So, you know, that helps a lot, you know, to get off to the first game if you can win that. But you look at each of those rotations, and the Mets are supposed to be the best team in the National League. And then you look at their rotation. It's El Duque, old guy El Duque, Glavine, who's no, you know, spring chicken, and then Traxel. That's not nothing to scare anybody. So, you know, I couldn't pick anybody up there if I have to, unless I have to. I probably would pick.
But for the Dodgers, meantime, Penny is struggling all of a sudden.
Derek
Lowe's always
hot.
a big game, and he steps it up at the big times.
Yeah.
We know that.
So it'd be hard pressed to pick somebody right now. I guess I'd have to pick the Mets. But
I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
Okay.
I like the Dodgers. I like the bullpen. And we'll see about the offense.
I'll tell Tony La Russa that I'm going for St. Louis, but I'm really not.
I hope you're not watching. Something tells me he's not watching. They got better things to do right now.
He's just lucky he's there.
That's right. They got that done. We are waiting for the postseason. Forget the post game. This is the postseason press conference. Terry Francona, Theo Epstein, and we'll come back and talk a little about what goes on in the clubhouse right now. Goodbyes are being said. You know, they may not tell somebody, listen, we don't want you back, but, you know, pats on the back, messages are being sent. And as we wait for Tito and Theo to step up to the podium, we remind you that there are a lot of people who work hard to get this job done every night. Shiva, Nikki, and Paul, that's them waving back in master control, and we thank them and everyone here at Nesson for the hard work they do all year long.
Nesson, New England's most watched sports network.
It's another Rem Dog special on Nesson as Jerry Remy hands out his postseason awards. Now find out who's a top dog and who's in the doghouse on the Remys. Monday at 9:30 after Big Papi's greatest hits, only on Nesson.
This season on Nesson, every game ends in overtime. Nesson keeps game night on ice. 30 minutes postgame with Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime.
An ounce of prevention from Children's Hospital Boston, presented by Nesson.
My mother has a red car too.
You're kidding me.
No. She doesn't have red hair like you though.
My mom does.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thanks.
Okay. No! My TV went out! My TV went out! TV went out.
HBO's got the magic. Order HBO from Time Warner Cable now to see it all. Be amused, be amazed, be enchanted. Add Cinemax because life needs escape. Surprise, impact, life needs movies. HBO and Cinemax summon the magic.
Get digital cable, including HBO, at half price for only $55.95 a month for 6 months.
$1 in cash. Stop by your lottery agent today and pick up a ticket. The Mass State Lottery. You have to play. Please play responsibly. American League Central title up for grabs. Detroit took a 6-0 lead, trying to win just one game against Kansas City, but they let that 6-0 lead slip away. Now leading 7-6. Angel Sanchez safe on a throwing error from Brandon Inge that scores the tying run. And then they go to the 12th, tied at 8. Kenny Rogers on. Esteban Herman with a base hit. That drives in Jeff Keppinger and gives the Kansas City Royals a win. They take it 10-8 in 12. Minnesota, meantime, wins at home against Chicago just like that. The Twins win the AL Central. And I know it's a great thing for the Tigers, who haven't been to the postseason in 19 years, but still you have to look at that as an amazing collapse. They had this division dead to rights.
You know, I mean, it wasn't, but just the way it ended. Once you lose what you had, 10.5, I mean, that says something, and let alone have to go to Yankee Stadium. They've got a lot of guys that have never been there, obviously. I mean, Kenny Rogers, has he been there? I don't even think he's been in the playoffs. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't think
he must
so.
have been with somebody. But
New York, well, Yankees.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't recall him pitching very well. But meanwhile,
that's why he left New York, because he couldn't pitch.
Meanwhile, they got a kid that's really almost their ace, I guess, Verlander, who's a rookie. So you know that there's going to be pressure on him. Bonderman and then Rogers, that's their three against Wong, Messina, and Johnson. So
I don't like Detroit in this matchup at all.
The other side of it is Minnesota and Oakland. And Oakland, you got to like Oakland's pitching staff. You're talking about Zito Herron, and who am I forgetting number 3? I know they have Blanton.
Harden?
But Harden's not their number 3. He just came back recently. But
they're going to use him.
You got to like that. And Minnesota's really Santana, Bonzer, and I don't even know who their third one is.
Maybe Radke. Is it definitely no on the Radke?
Oh, Garza's
the young guy.
Another young kid.
But he struggled.
Yeah, but once again, a 5-game series, you know, flip a coin. Who do you like in the American League?
On the whole thing,
yes.
I like the Yankees.
So do I.
It's hard not to.
I know.
Because I don't see anybody else. I think the Oakland-Minnesota series, you're going to have 2-1 games until they're done playing. And I can see New York racking up a lot of runs against Detroit.
Yeah, I want to see Oakland play New York because Oakland owes New York if it ever gets that far. I think they beat them twice a few years back, and they had them both times, the A's, and lost to the Yankees and lost to the Red Sox when they had the Red Sox down 2-0.
Well, so, you know, the old Billy Bean thing, he says, you make the playoffs and then all bets are off.
Yeah, I did my job.
Good luck, boys. Go get them.
Meanwhile, that's the toughest job, is to get people out in a tight series.
They couldn't get by the first round for a long time. All right, I want to ask you, because again, you've been on winning teams, you've been on losing teams. We know the winning teams are spraying champagne and doing all that. What's going on in the Red Sox clubhouse right now? When the season is over, before they open up the doors and head off for their planes, are you going stall to stall and talking to guys? Are the managers and GMs coming through? What's happening?
You know who may not be there, and if it's you're seeing everybody. You're going. I think more of anything, it's just a relief. These guys are relieved. It's not like this thing got away from them last week. They've been sitting on this since I tell you, they've been sitting on this since that Yankee series. You're talking about 6 weeks. You know, fans sit around going, this has been miserable. It's more miserable than anybody else is the players. And so for them, they just can't wait to just, you know, see you later. But the guys that know they're going for sure are saying their goodbyes. The funny thing about this game is you always say have a nice offseason, but you may not see this guy again, because when it's over, said and done, we all know we only have a handful of friends. And I know I played 24 years, and you know, I've met a lot of ball players over the years, and when you say goodbye, I look back at some of the guys I said goodbye to. I wish I may have said more to them because I didn't see them since that time.
And the other thing is guys who probably feel pretty secure that they're coming back, they get uprooted and thrown into trades suddenly.
Yeah, true. You really don't know what's going to happen. I think if any year out of all these past 3 years, I mean, they've had their moments because they had to break up that team from 2004. So this is not anything new, but I think more so than at least the past couple.
All right, we'll see how that all plays out, and we'll hear what Terry Francona and Theo Epstein have to say about it as we thank Bo Turgeon for his work behind the Jimmy Jib. Although he's not back there right now. He was there a little bit ago when we showed that.
Mark your calendars for the Red Sox Hall of Fame induction dinner. This year's honorees include Nesson's Jerry Remy, former manager Joe Morgan, Dave Roberts Hall of Fame Steele, and more. It's the Red Sox Hall of Fame induction dinner. Get your tickets now.
The Boston Globe Sports Plus.
I love to tackle the tough topic. You're in dreamland with that one. And so do the Boston Globe sports writers.
No more, no less.
Is this team good enough to get into October?
Those are big, big numbers. Yakety yak, yak, yak.
The Boston Globe Sports Plus combines New England sports page with New England Sports Network.
The hottest topic. Is he all finished?
But the cost was outrageous.
It is the Boston Globe Sports Plus.
A lot of people think I'm nuts, I'm crazy, I'm kind of whacked, I'm kind of not your normal host. Think I'm dull? Oh my God, I caught myself. Welcome to the show, where you been?
Sponsored by Obashan Hardware, the greatest show on H2O.
It's where hockey hits home.
Trace Bergeron blasts one home.
And where history meets high def.
Boyce shot, score! What a goal by Brad Boyce!
Nesson, the hub of hockey.
All right, still to come, it's Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra. We're told about 10 minutes from now, General Manager Theo Epstein and Manager Terry Francona will sit down and address the media. We'll take it to you live. And we'll hear from Trot Nixon and Devern Hansack, as well as look back at the end of the year as 2006 has come to an end.
You only have 96 hours. The Dodge 96-hour clearance event. From right now until October 2nd, get our best offer of the year. 0% financing for 72 months and make no monthly payments until March 2007. Only 96 hours to get the best deals on Dodge Durango with the best interior room in its class. And only 96 hours to get Dodge Grand Caravan featuring exclusive stow-and-go seating and storage. The Dodge 96-hour clearance event. Remember, it's only 96 hours. This offer ends October 2nd.
The more business you do with your bank, the more you deserve a little VIP treatment, right? With the Legacy account from Sovereign Bank, you'll get special preferred higher rates on CDs and money market savings accounts, plus lower rates on home equity loans. And you can use any bank's ATMs at no charge. The Legacy account from Sovereign Bank.
We put more into it so you can get more out of it.
Human interest story. I won't look at you. I have no time for you. That beard of bees, it has no power over me.
Let nothing keep you from a delicious new Dunkin' Donuts Sausage Supreme Omelet. Not even that human interest story. America runs on Dunkin'.
Stop by Dunkin' Donuts and try the new Sausage Supreme Omelet Breakfast Sandwich and Coffee Combo.
Take a way-back look back at Big Papi's record-breaking home run season. Catch every blast on Big Papi's greatest hits, Monday the 2nd at 9 on Nesson.
Every game night, Nesson drops the puck with Bruins Face Off, New England's 30-minute pregame show, hosted by Eric Fried and Nesson's veteran Bruins analysts. Know the score before the game with Bruins Face Off. This season on Nesson, every game ends in overtime. Nesson keeps game night on ice. 30 minutes postgame with Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime.
Well, Trot Nixon coming off the field here as we welcome you back to Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra. Could be the final game of the Red Sox uniform, and Terry Francona taking the right fielder out of the game with 2 outs remaining in the 5th. As the rain started coming down hard, we never did get to the 6th. The Red Sox win it. Let's hear from Trot Nixon.
This organization has obviously been a lot to it. You know, I just came up here in this organization, and the fans that have been here the past week, the signs, and we're gratefully appreciative of the signs that I've seen about coming back, and the fans that were there tonight, hanging around for several hours, yelling nothing but great things to me. It means a lot to a ball player, not just me, but it means a lot to a ball player to have. I think fans appreciate what you've tried to do, and I haven't put up the greatest numbers in the world, but I try to go out there and play as hard as I possibly can for myself, my teammates, organization, and my family, and obviously the fans.
Trot, what was running through your mind? What were some of the things running through your mind as when Murphy came out to replace you and you made that jog that
well, for his sake, I wish it would have stopped raining. But I thought about all the great memories I've had here. Several things. Playing beside Kapler today in center field, and how much his friendship has meant to me. Veritek behind the plate, Tim Wakefield, a lot of these guys, Mike Timlin, a lot of these guys, I've spent a long time with, especially like guys like Veritek and Wake. Stand out the most because they've been here just as long as I have, and how much the fans meant to me. How much my family means to me because they've been supportive day in and day out, 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. They've always been there for me and supporting me, and such a long and difficult day, and today's my youngest son's birthday, so I'm glad he's young enough not to really understand that it is his birthday, but so it's just a lot of things going through my mind right now. And obviously the biggest thing, I wish we were going to the postseason. You kind of get accustomed to going to the postseason, almost every year. And, it's been a difficult year. I think, the weather today kind of summed up the whole year, it's just been really rough. And, but whether the rain was there or not, we had all of us, everybody was at the game, and the ball players had an opportunity to take part in this day. And
I am Trot Nixon. You see his numbers once again entering free agency in the offseason. By no means is Trot Nixon's career over, as we said. But the downside of the great financial windfalls that Major League ball players have seen over the last 20 years is that sometimes you price yourself out of returning to the same team.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but he's had a nice run here. He really has, and everybody respects this guy. And the thing about it, he's lucky that, sure he wanted to be in the playoffs, but at the same time, he's had a lot of time to reflect this last month. And then you see the way he's talking after the game. I know when I left this game, I never really sat around and thought about, what went on. And he had a lot of time to think. Not that he wanted all that time, but he did have some time to think.
All right, 13 years since he was drafted. Now we sort of get the wrap-up press conference. Terry Francona and Theo Epstein are sitting down at the podium.
We'll answer any and all questions.
How do you separate the impact of injuries on the team's final place in the standings this year from actual performance? It's obviously critical in off-season planning.
Yeah, I do think two separate and distinct things happened in our second half disappointment, and the first is that the team had some weaknesses. It was an imperfect team, to be sure, and those weaknesses were not revealed in the first half when we were fresh and playing well, and they weren't revealed in interleague play, to be sure, and we had a great first half, but they were exposed in the second half, and that's our fault. You try to build as solid a team as you possibly can. This is a year when it was a team where a lot of things needed to go right for us to play really well. And the first half they did go right. The second half they didn't go right. They didn't go our way. And the second factor is there were injuries. but that's not a crutch. It's real. It happened. It's something that we have to overcome, and we didn't. So you can't let the second factor, the fact that there were a lot of injuries, mask or disguise or make you blind to the first factor. Because the first factor, the fact that this team had weaknesses, clear weaknesses, that's something that we can work on. That's something that we can deal with, that we can address over time and over this winter. And the injuries are just something that we just have to do the best job we can medically and hope that confluence of a lot of injuries at once doesn't happen again. But you separate it. You can't let the injuries mask the flaws on this team, and that's our responsibility, my responsibility.
Terry, can you describe your emotions when you sent David Murphy out in the 5th inning to replace Trot? Also, when you sent Troy out in the next one?
The last thing I think I ever want to do in the middle of a game is start getting emotional, turn into a big puddle, but it's hard not to. Even in taking David out was special. Loretta, then when you get to Trot, and we kind of did that a little bit on the fly because I wanted Trot to stay out there maybe a little longer than everybody else, and then it started raining, and I could just see what happened. So we told Murph to go out there in a hurry. And it's hard not to be emotional. You get very close to these players and you develop a big affection for, try to run through that wall to win a ball game. And he's done it for a long time. That's why people are so crazy about him here. I was glad Trot and David and Loretta got to walk off the field and let the fans show how they cared and let the players in return show how they cared. And his teammates. Thought it was very important.
Yeah, from an organizational standpoint on Trot, that's how we want guys to play the game. And this guy, from day one in a Red Sox uniform, has absolutely given his all, and you could never ask for anything more than what he gives you. And don't read that the wrong way. That this is definitely the end. That may not be the case. The business of baseball will dictate that this winter. But in any case, he deserves recognition for what he's accomplished in a Red Sox uniform.
What are your areas of greatest concern for you to fix?
This is one of the years we have a lot. We're not going to beat around the bush. We have a lot to address, and we plan on being active in order to address those weaknesses. Start with pitching. I guess this is a good time to announce, as good a time as any to announce that Jonathan Papelbon is going to enter next spring training as a starting pitcher. We talked about letting the medical issue dictate that move, that all things being equal, we'd probably leave him in the bullpen. It's been clear throughout the process of diagnosing his injury, treating it, and then watching him rehab so strongly that the opinion of our medical staff is that the best thing for Jonathan's long-term health is to be a starting pitcher, to have 4 days between starts, not to have to pitch back-to-back days, and to be able to do a shoulder program on a structured regime. So that's what Jonathan's path is going to be from this point forward. He's going to prepare all winter for that. To get back to your question, we need help in the starting rotation, at least one starter. We need help in the bullpen, certainly by moving Papelbon. That's an area we need to address the closer issue, and several spots in the bullpen. We'd like to add some more offense, some depth to our lineup, some power to our lineup. Make sure we continue to be an on-base threat as a club as well. And then defensively, I think we did a nice job in the infield this year. Outfield defense is probably another area of concern. So there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. We have elements of a very, very good baseball club here, but there's no doubt in the world we need to do better. I need to do a better job. This American League is going to feature some very tough competition next year, and we have to. There's a very high standard if we want to achieve our goals, win a World Series, and the first step is making the playoffs.
There's been some suggestion on the part of some players and others that the team will spend liberally this winter without regard to payroll and luxury tax thresholds. Can you, without getting too specific, can you address that? And does that not contradict perhaps some of the philosophical differences that existed when you left for a time last October?
That's quite a question. We've never publicly discussed our payroll, so I won't start doing that now. I'll just say I think we have more than enough resources to accomplish our goals, to compete here. But I don't think we've ever been tied to one payroll number or one range of payroll possibilities. I think that we have enough resources. We need to do a very good job of changing with the market and trying to see where the market goes before it's too late, and anticipate the economics of the game and try to chart a path that puts us in an advantageous position, whether that means spending early and often, spending late and little, whatever it takes to put the best team on the field year after year after year, and that will emerge as we execute our off-season plan.
Is this not a tough year to augment a roster from a free agent standpoint, given how little that's out there, particularly in the pitching department?
It's not the world's best free agent market, but we seem to be saying that every year. It's the reality of the game. There's going to be a lot of demand every winter and probably limited supply. It doesn't mean there's not opportunity out there. Every year you can look back at the previous offseason and say, that was an opportunity, and we have to be right. We got to really execute well this winter.
Just talking about Trot, you described how you place such a premium on a player given his all. Are you satisfied that Manny Ramirez did so for you this year?
Manny had another very, very good year at the plate, and prior to his injury, I thought he played extremely hard and extremely well. While we were in the pennant race, this guy, I think, genuinely cared, went out and gave his all defensively, on the bases. Did an excellent job in the cleanup hole. And then, we did have the case of patella tendonitis, and it's tough. It's tough when you have an injury and the team's kind of fading out of the race. And I don't think it's what Manny wanted. I don't think it's what anyone wanted. But it lingered for a while. He was able to get back out there towards the end of the year. But focusing on what he did when he was healthy, I actually thought he really kind of lived up. Skip in spring training, Tito kind of. They made a bargain. If you get here, you report at the appropriate time, and then you just make sure you give your all. He really did. I thought, obviously after the injury, he wasn't available until the very end. That's what happened when players get. That's what happens when players get hurt. But he's healthy now. Played yesterday. I think his health is not going to be a factor going forward into 2007, and we expect when he's out there next year, 100% effort.
How do you answer the critics who say that you didn't address the problems adequately at the trading deadline to help the team over the second half of the season, given the weaknesses that you described earlier? I mean, obviously we couldn't anticipate the injuries, but...
Right. This is one of those years where I probably tend to agree with our critics more often than usual, but maybe not on that particular issue. I mean, at the trading deadline, we did everything we could do to acquire a player or players who would make us better. We worked very hard to make some impact players available. In the end, they weren't available no matter what we did. We came close to prying them free, but couldn't. We had a decision. We could have made some moves that I think we all deemed largely cosmetic at that point, maybe to cover our backside a little bit, and that's not the way that we want to do things. I don't think that's ever the right thing to do. So we decided, no, if we can't make a move that's actually going to really help, we'll go with what we have. We'll preserve our minor league system. And in hindsight, obviously the team sputtered from that point forward. I really think based on the injuries and based on our performance the rest of the way, there was not a deal we could have done. There was not a player we could have acquired given what was out there for us that would have made a difference. So in hindsight, I know it was an unpopular decision. We were prepared for that. I thought at the time it was the right decision. In hindsight, I'm still, now I'm not convinced it was the right decision. I don't think there's anything that we could have done that was available to us that would have made a difference. wasn't my favorite outcome. I said at the time, we wish we could have delivered something for him, but hindsight, I'm glad we didn't make a cosmetic move. I wish we could have delivered more for this club, but the weaknesses that emerged, the injuries that we suffered, the performance fall off that we had, that wasn't going to be solved by a small deal.
Is there any deal or decision that you made prior to that, or, or whenever, that you wish you had voted on and that you feel might have been the wrong one?
Yeah, the one time I think that we got away from our philosophy and got away from what defined us for a while, made us good, was the deal with San Diego there at the end of April, where, I guess, contrary to your question about the deadline and being patient, I think that we actually got impatient there, and that's my fault. I allowed us to get impatient. That as much as we want to win every year at the big league level, and that is the priority, you have to balance, immediate needs with the long-term picture. And I think that, we had a real, anyone who's around our big league team knows we had a real acute need, right, for a backup catcher. We were getting a little bit destabilized without being able to properly handle Wakefield, but I don't think we dealt with it the right way, and that's not going to happen again. I thought we got impatient when patience really serves you better in the long run. And that's, if we want to be the organization that we want to be, we have to have a more creative solution in that instance. We have to be a little bit more patient. We liked Clay Meredith a lot. He didn't perform well for almost a calendar year, but we got to find a way to reach him, be a little bit more patient with him, let him get back to what he was doing before. So that was the one moment, that's the one decision that I think really is out of whack with our organizational philosophy, and going forward, I don't think you'll see too many like that again.
Larry, how difficult a year was this for you? And all the stuff you had to overcome, Terry, how difficult the season was for you?
I think we didn't win the World Series, so we're not standing after the last game throwing champagne on each other. I actually think, and we've got, like I said, we've got to stand up here and take the accolades, so you have to still be a leader when things aren't going right. And I think in a place where it can get kind of difficult, I think our relationship grew and bonded a little bit. It's a good feeling to know that somebody's kind of got your back when you're going through a tough time. That helped a lot. Losing's not a lot of fun, but when you are losing, we still have a responsibility to be leaders and to make sure our ball club goes in the right direction. So we spent our energy doing what we could do and the best we could, and that's really what you think about. Our own personal well-being gets so far removed that it just doesn't matter.
You talked about maybe a starting pitcher in the bullpen and outfield defense. You expect a pretty good turnover on this team by the time they break?
There'll be some turnover. I think that's every year now that I've been asked that question, and we always seem to say probably there will be turnover, and there always is turnover. And some years that works out, some years it doesn't work out. I just think that's the nature of baseball these days. We have some players on long-term contracts. We have some players who are free agents. We have some younger players who are just coming into their own. There'll be the normal amount of turnover, I'm sure.
Seemingly, over the last couple of years, a number of pitchers, especially have underperformed, who were acquired, have underperformed the expectations that you had when they arrived. How much of a concern is that? Can you attribute that systematically to anything? Because you talked a lot about the process being good. So
right.
Is the substance? Is there something wrong with the substance?
Well, I think that it's a major priority of ours to create an environment where not just pitchers but players can come here and get better. Players can come here and thrive. Young players, old players, pitchers, position players. But certainly we have to find a way to get better. It's my responsibility. It's that falls under baseball operations to provide the proper environment, the proper infrastructure for pitchers to come and succeed, and that's on my plate. So if that's an area where we haven't excelled, and I think that's over the last few years, I think that's probably a fair assessment. It falls on me to push any number of buttons to try to make that better. Again, we can't be the organization we want to be if that trend continues. We have to find a way to make this a place where guys come and thrive, and that that encompasses myriad factors. But we have to take a hard look at each and every one of them and do what we can to get better.
I mean, is there a commonality that permeates the trend, or is it individual based on each acquisition?
I think it's just, again, it's a baseball operations issue, and I'm in charge of baseball operations. We have to find a way to provide an environment in which players can thrive.
Theo, in your absence last year, the front office was pretty upfront in acknowledging that Manny, through his representative, had requested to be traded. The team was upfront in its desire to try to move him. There have been reports that that has happened again. Can you confirm that and address Manny's future?
No, I think that issues like that should remain private. Private conversations private meetings between the player and the club, or the player's representative and the club. Certainly, anytime if a player or an agent wishes to talk about it, that's fine. But that type of business is best handled behind closed doors, I believe.
Getting back to the bullpen and successful teams and successful bullpens are kind of the same. Is that an area that now that you almost have to overcompensate for in an off season when you're putting together a bullpen, because everybody has people who don't come through when there's acquisitions? Even though you have a plan, is that an area where you probably the hardest piece to put together?
Well, it's something that's been a real challenge for us. It's something that we have to continue to give a lot of attention to and examine every part of the process and try to find a way to get better. Going into this year, I thought we had tremendous depth in the bullpen, we didn't get off to a right start. The right start. Some young guys got forced into roles in which they initially thrived, and then couldn't handle it towards the end of the year. We were asking more of them than we wanted to, sooner than we wanted to. But yeah, there are a lot of teams in baseball, most of them, that need to add to their bullpen, fix their bullpen, and we're certainly one of them.
Theo, you brought up the young guys. Can you envision a scenario where there's an awful lot of them filling out that 07 squad?
We'll have young players. I don't think it's going to be, the majority of the roster is going to be young guys. I think our goal is to field a team that can compete for a World Series title, and each year incorporate a couple young players into the mix. We had some successes on that front this year, obviously, most notably Jonathan Papelbon. And we kind of talk about this. We wish that young players' transitions were always that easy with Pap, but that's the exception, not the rule. We have to find a way to make successes with that rule. We have to find a way to allow young players to struggle, be patient with them as an organization, control their development at the big league level, and then reap the benefits down the line. I think we saw a lot of development this year, and I think we'll reap some benefits in the future. But yeah, next year you'll see another name or two come in, and certainly by the middle of the year breaking into this club and hopefully making a positive contribution.
The team has gone back to the World Series champions and more than how do you reverse that trend? What would you do?
I just think you continue to operate with one eye on the future, one eye on the present. It's a difficult marketplace. It's a difficult league. You have to find opportunities to bring in talent without giving up your talent, and fill your roster with players of character and of talent. And bide time while you develop players at the minor league level who can come up and provide reinforcements. And it's not an easy place to play, but there's no greater place to win. And I think we've all gotten frustrated. Certainly as this year went on, we were the second best team in baseball in the first half, and we had just a very disappointing second half. So we have to get better. Our personnel decisions have to be better. We have to provide the right environment for players to thrive, and there's no secret to it. There's no magic formula. We have to make a lot of good decisions and execute, overcome obstacles. There's no magic formula.
Was it kind of eye-opening to watch the way Ortiz was pitched to when Manny was out of the lineup for the last month or so?
Me? Not really. That's what happens. When you're a great hitter, you get walked a lot. He pitched around, but he managed to have a great month of September. Certainly we want the kind of lineup that's consistent, top to bottom, where no pitcher has the luxury of necessarily pitching around anybody, especially our best hitters.
Do either of you feel like there is an internal solution to replace Papelbon as closer, or is it necessarily going to have to be inside the organization?
I think it's possible that there's an internal solution, but we certainly will be looking aggressively outside the organization.
Terry, given the fact that you preach on a daily basis 100%, 110% every game, how difficult was it for you, particularly over the second half of the season when the injuries crept in, to get that consistent attitude and that consistent play out of all of your players on a daily basis?
No, I thought they did a great job of that. That wasn't the problem. We weren't getting enough outs when we were pitching. We weren't getting enough hits when we were hitting. I never felt like the effort was lagging. I said early on in the year, the one thing I really respected about our ball club was the way they went about their business. We started losing games, that didn't waver. We spent a lot of time trying to communicate with all the players, young ones, because we had a lot of young ones coming at that time that were trying to handle a lot of responsibility. So we felt the need to communicate a lot to make sure they were, as Theo alluded to earlier, this is a great place to play. When young guys are coming here for the first time, it can be potentially overwhelming. We don't want that to happen. As a manager, as a coaching staff, we have a responsibility to try to create an atmosphere where these guys can thrive. And not just the superstars. We can't bring every superstar in here. We need to keep working and to make guys better. All the guys better, regardless of what their talent level is. As a staff, if we can do that, we're going to be okay.
There have been reports about changes to the coaching staff for next season. Is that something that can be confirmed?
That's something we're not going to address today. There's a good chance we'll address that tomorrow. But to the extent that there are changes, that's not something that with the organization as a whole. We're going to obviously examine every aspect of the process, and there are always changes in the organization. But the responsibility is really up here with me. If we do make changes, that's not we're not pointing fingers. We're merely assessing every aspect of our operation, and in some instances trying to find a new mix.
Theo, when you say you address that tomorrow, you'll address it internally or publicly?
There's a chance that we get to a point where we can address it publicly tomorrow. Yeah.
What do you look at as the elements of progress that the organization made this season beyond perhaps Papelbon, since that's such an obvious one?
Sure. I thought we had another great draft, which is very important. Just getting the reports from Instructional League. The last couple of days, we probably have the best group down there in the lower minors that we've ever had. I'm actually headed there Wednesday. Tito's going to come down with us and get a look firsthand. And that's the cycle of baseball. Your big league season ends, and it was disappointing. And some of these guys aren't going to be back with us, and there's a whole nother crop coming up. So I thought it was a good year in the minor leagues. I thought our young pitching showed tremendous promise. The way John Lester started out, what Manny Del Carmen and Craig Hansen accomplished around the month of June, what Papelbon did all year, the promise Case and Gabbard showed at the end, among others. I think that's a pretty integral part of an organization, that you have to have young pitching getting better and breaking into the big leagues. And I think we have that throughout our farm system, and we started to see it at the big league level this year. So that's promising. We have to make sure we execute, and as I alluded to earlier, create an environment where those guys can continue to get better.
We had young pitching, and in the month of June, I sat here and did a lot of bragging about them. And we were enjoying watching these guys get better. Then they hit their bumps in the road. We as an organization and as a staff, we have got to, Theo used the word patience, that's a good word. We've got to, as field people, get these kids over humps, because there's going to be problems. Del Carmen and Hansen are two of the names that jump out right at the forefront. as a staff, we need to help these kids mature as players, pitchers, because again, you don't just go out and sign every superstar that's out there. These guys, we need to help make some superstars, and that's what we intend to do.
Anything else? You know, one question, just off the side of it. Devern Hansack, 5 innings of the
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, in the midst of a lot of emotion, as you alluded to, with the guys coming off the field and the rain coming down, this young kid making his second start, showing a lot of poise, changing speeds, throwing strikes, water's coming off his hat. He's a very poised, polite young man that's got 3 pretty good pitches. And as Theo, we were kind of laughing after the game. What an end of the season for him. One day he's pumping his chest down in Portland, and a couple weeks later he's winning the game, giving up no hits in Boston. So good for him and good for us.
Yeah, I just want to also add, you know, a great scouting job by Craig Shipley and John Diebel, seeing Hansack throw for Nicaragua at an international tournament. I think it was in Holland, and signing him, saying, you know, this guy could probably pitch right now in the upper minors. And he went out and helped us win that Eastern League championship, and now has put himself in a position to come to spring training and, you know, try to compete for a meaningful role somewhere at some point in the big league. So.
Okay.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
Okay. Oh. All right, Theo Epstein, general manager of the Red Sox, Terry Francona, the manager of the Red Sox. Their sort of a season wrap-up, but not saying anything specific, but obviously addressing the fact that there's got to be a lot of changes in the offseason.
You know, infrastructure, I guess, is what he said, and I guess they will announce something as early as tomorrow, but they've got, you know, not just talking about trading and this and that, they've got to go and do things that they normally don't do because they've been in the playoffs the last 3 years, and now they're going to go down to, I guess it's not spring training, but instructional league, and some of the stuff that other clubs have to do that they're doing.
Get a look at your young players. They've got a lot of them down there plays in the Arizona Fall League. Hawaii now has the Fall League as well. And try to start getting tabs. Of course, the big news, I guess, out of this is it is official. Jonathan Papelbon will go into the offseason going through his workout regimen to be prepared to return to the starting rotation. I think that's a good call.
I definitely think that's a good call because they can monitor it. And he's so important. You don't know what he's capable. I mean, they know what he's capable of. Like, you know, anything. This guy could go out and win 20 games. He shows you what you can do in the bullpen. But, you know, you wish there was somebody out in the free agent market they addressed that it's not any better than it ever was last year. But then again, last year there was a Wagner out there. There was B.J. Ryan out there last year. And I think that would be a perfect scenario is just to grab somebody like that and overpay him, whatever. At least you don't have to trade for him. We sit around talking about Brad Lidge and this and that, but you've got to trade for somebody like that. What they need now is a slam dunk closer. Easier said than done, but they've got their work cut out for them.
Or it'll be some sort of insurance policy for Keith Foulke, who may factor into this.
He could. It's not out of the question.
All right, we're going to take a break and then come back. Some final comments from the clubhouse and more. Thank yous to our crew. Brian Zaccello on the right without the brown shirt. Matt Flanagan in the middle without the golf clubs. And Chuck Ciccarello without his step ladder. Meantime, out here in the studio, we thank our crew as you look at John Ross and Brian Curley. Brian Curley celebrating his last day here at Nesson. It's a sad day for all of us. Eye Candy's gain is Nesson's loss indeed. Also here in the studio for our final show, Keith Hawk Turner. Good. There you go. Keith, also known as the Hawk. Chris Yon, also known as Regis, and Shabu Kalaporikel, who is waiting for Brian to leave so she can take over the highly coveted camera 3 position. We're having fun here in the studio. It's been a long season. We'll wrap it up after this. Let's get a full contact now.
City Electric. We do the lights for the Patriots.
New team.
I want them to be proud to have the Boston Bruins logo on their chest.
Now attitude. One network.
A lot of people think I'm nuts. I'm crazy. I'm kind of whacked. I'm kind of not your normal host. Think I'm dull? Oh my God, I caught myself. Welcome to the show. Where you been?
Sponsored by Obashan Hardware, the greatest show on H2O.
Mark your calendars for the Red Sox Hall of Fame induction dinner. This year's honorees include Nesson's Jerry Remy, former manager Joe Morgan, Dave Roberts Hall of Fame Steele, and more. It's the Red Sox Hall of Fame induction dinner. Get your tickets now.
Trainings Extras brought to you by Granite City Electric. Nobody knows lighting or electricians like Granite City Electric.
You know, that was really nice. That was something that Tito had up his sleeve and something I didn't anticipate, and something was a little bit awkward, but I really appreciate the ovation and chance to thank the fans. They've been tremendous all year, and obviously the destination isn't where we want to be, but the journey was great.
What are your thoughts now that this 2006 season has come to an end, and as you sort of summarize your first year with the Red Sox?
Well, I had a great time. I really did. I enjoyed playing at Fenway Park. The first 4 months of the season were magical. You know, we hit a real series of roadblocks there, but that's baseball, and certainly expected to be in the playoffs with this team. But you know, if this was my only year in Boston, I had a great time.
How unique was it for you?
Unique
compared to your other career, your other years of baseball?
Yes, second to none. Totally different. The playoff atmosphere in San Diego is similar to regular season games here, to be honest with you. And that's what people had said. So it exceeded my expectations.
How about your teammates?
Great teammates. We went through a lot together this year, and I'll remember them forever.
You want to come back, Mark, next year?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, sure. You know, I think there's a lot of moving pieces that will factor into that decision in terms of the club. So, you know, we'll see. We'll be in communication for sure, and see what happens.
Well, guys, been around the game too long not to understand the business of baseball. You can see what he did as a number 2 hitter this season. These rankings are among number 2 hitters, and he is ideal for the role. Sometimes, you know, number 2 hitter is looked as not a compliment. You're saying a guy who doesn't drive in runs, but this guy does everything you want a number 2 hitter to do. Contact hitter, can hit to all fields, move the runner along, and he doesn't strike out very often, and was awesome in the field.
You know, he quietly gets lost in the mix because he just sort of does his job, and he says all the right things. This guy's a true professional, and what you forget is this guy represented the American League at second base. He was the all-star second baseman, and that says it all. I mean, you know, he comes over here his first year and has as solid a year as you can possibly have. And it reminds you a lot of Lowell, and the same kind of personalities, represent the team as well as you can. He's going to be missed, you know, as a person if they don't end up re-signing this guy.
All right, more baseball tonight for you. After this show, it is Spaceman, a baseball odyssey. A look at Bill Lee's trip to Cuba, then Sports Desk coming your way. Good day for the Patriots. A lot of NFL action coming your way on the desk tonight. Hazel May, Catherine Tappan with you, bringing you a full recap of a football Sunday.
How many pessimists does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. It's a waste of time because the new bulb probably won't work.
Nobody knows lighting like Granite City Electric.
Tune in Nesson and get a sneak peek at the new Bruins season on the Hub of Hockey Preview Special. The Bruins are ready to lice them up with a new GM, new coach, and new players. It's the Hub of Hockey Preseason Preview Special. Tonight at 6 on Nesson. This season on Nesson, every game ends in overtime. Stay tuned after the game for Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime, a 30-minute post-game show hosted by Eric Fried and Nesson's frontline of veteran Bruins analysts. For complete post-game reaction, live commentary, NHL scores, and analysis, Nesson keeps game night on ice. 30 minutes post-game with Granite City Electric's Bruins Overtime.
Take a way-back look back at Big Papi's record-breaking home run season. Catch every blast on Big Papi's Greatest Hits, Monday the 2nd at 9 on Nesson.
A lot of people think I'm nuts. I'm crazy. I'm kind of whacked. I'm kind of not your normal host. Think I'm dull? Oh my God, I caught myself. Welcome to the show. Where you been?
Sponsored by Obashan Hardware, the greatest show on H2O.
How many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb?
Only one, but the light bulb has to really want to change.
Nobody knows lighting like Granite City Electric.
More people behind the scenes. Nick Halco. I don't know if he plays the drums, but he twirls the pen pretty well. Chris Collins, who of course the male model rival of Brian Zaccello here at Nesson. Mike Downing, Kristen O'Keefe, all back in the tape room. Get it done as we get our final show done. And I guess it's only fitting they didn't show Mike Testa because he's on audio and you only hear the audio guys. So we don't see Mike Testa. But a disappointing season for the Red Sox to say the least. But I want to thank you. As always, it's been a fun year. And we'll see what they do in the offseason because I think it'll be a fun offseason.
I definitely think things are going to change, and it's not going to be, they're not going to have the ending that we had to go through this year. But it was a pleasure, and I know, you show all the people that work here, but they work hard. I just show up and do this. This is easy compared to what these other guys do. So it was a great year between, as far as me and you are concerned, and I look forward to next year.
Well, we said it last night. They make us look good, and that is no easy task, to say the least. We thank you one more time for watching. Stay with us. Bill Lee's Spaceman, a Baseball Odyssey coming up, and then Sports Desk. Wrapping up our night here on Nesson. A long day to get this final game in, but the game has come and gone. For the final time, the final score, the Red Sox win a short game by a 9-0 final. We look back now on the 2006 season in Red Sox Nation.